What is going on, everybody? This is Antonius DaGamer here for another episode of Press Start Select Podcast. I am joined by my two co-hosts, SSS Rank and Mykale Smith. Fellas, welcome back to another episode. Now, as is par for the course, every time we take a slight break, the news cycle decides to shoot through the roof and things just keep happening. And, I figure we, get some of the stuff out the way out the gate. As of this week, the official Season Pass 1 for Naruto Storm Connections has wrapped up. They released Boruto with Karma Progression, aka Boroshiki. And we got more costumes and more Team Ultimates.
Boy.
And I just want to play the Team Ultimate at least, because when I saw it, I sent to the group chat, I literally was crying from laughter. Like, I could not believe what I was seeing at that time. I'm like, I cannot believe they were like, what would be genius if we did this? So I'm going to play that real quick. And I think it's only right that I show the preceding Team Ultimate that led to that point. So we could see where things have gone in this ninja-based battle anime game.
Planetary Rasen Shuriken Spirit Ball.
So the Earth's gone.
Boy.
Well, first of all, I don't even like the fact that there's two purple Susanos.
I know.
And it's just like, bro, y'all was so lazy when it came to Indra, bro. I was like, bro.
And Asura. They're basically like poor man's Naruto's and Sasuke, if you think about it. Yeah, so shout out to Gameburst for the footage, uploading the footage of both Ultimates. So yeah, fellas, go ahead. Tim, you were already talking about the
fan fiction, bro. That's exactly what it is. It's just there. It's just there because, because they can. That's what it really is, man. And while you're giving these people this type of material, but then, like I said, you got people from Storm 2 who have not received their proper updates.
Yeah, Tsunade, who has a glorified grab as her ultimate, and has had that ultimate for 10 years. I think it's weird too, because I'm not gonna show the Boroshiki footage, but it's weird because when I was watching the Boroshiki moveset, I'm like, this surprisingly was a lot more grounded compared to what we've been getting this whole season pass, with the exception of Kurenai. He does a big old explosion, but I'm like, yeah, this fits within the narrative of him doing the massive Rasengan. That's his whole thing, shooting Rasengan bullets and stuff like that. Whereas with this, I'm like, there used to be a fine line, I feel with Naruto games where the ultimates, yes, you had that feeling of this person was for sure dead after this, versus are we just dishonoring the corpse now? This person was already dead. You know what I'm saying? From the time, even that ultimate, by the time Madara's meteorite hit, they're dead. It's over. And if they weren't dead, Ender's lightning, this person is gone. So why are we getting a Sasuke, Kirin, Amaterasu combination to level the planet?
Just because they can, bro. And like I said, man, it really doesn't make me have any faith in this type of franchise no more, man. Because first of all, the overall story is still in the most weirdest place of life.
Mm-hmm.
Due to Boruto, and it's just recycled media, bro. It's just recycled media. They give you probably 10 new characters over the time. They move on to the next, and it's just once again straight copy and paste.
And the new, I would say the news in quotation marks, because what you said, Tim, I think is true. It's bro, this Boruto could have been an awakening, just a main awakening with the ultimate, and called it a day. You didn't need to be a separate character.
Yeah, because it's first of all, and this is where I really appreciate Storm 1. I remember when Sasuke and Naruto did their transformations, they received a new ultimate that they could have done in that state. Why can't we just go back to that?
I don't know.
What is the purpose that you have to split so many characters up piece by piece by piece? And then that's my issue with this, man. You know, I mean, and you know, we see the results of that. You know, when it comes to sparkling zero, it's just like, bro, like half your whole cast is blonde hair and blue eyes.
Yeah.
80%.
Yeah.
Just like
And
Super Bowl on Fighter 5.
Yeah, and their base forms are just there so they can transform middle battle. Like the most generic. Oh, base Gogeta Super can do super explosive wave because he didn't fight at all in the movie. Like if you had started off in Super Saiyan, it would have been fine. Nobody would have cared, to be honest. Yeah, but I guess with Storm Connections, before we move into Sparking Zero proper, like, do you guys feel like are we getting a season pass 2 for this game?
I think so, yes. Because like I said, you know, you could tell like this type of DLC, they're just trying to cover some bases. I do feel like they are going to give us the characters that we were not given before. From Storm 1, because you could tell that they're just trying to really make up for, like, oh yeah, we're sorry for the, you know, support only characters. We're sorry. You know, they started off with good graces with the Sound Ninja 4. After how many years? I was like, bro, how did you make the main villains of a whole arc support characters?
Yeah.
Like, bro, when I was playing Storm 1, I was like, bro, we literally just have to fight Kimimaru so many times, bro. It's like, bro, this is wild.
Lazy.
Well, first of all, you skip Zabuza and Haku. So, like, yes. So the first, you know, we apologize was Zabuza and Haku.
Yeah.
And then you did the Sound Ninja 4. And then, all right, now we got Kurenai. All right, so we're still missing Shizune. We're still missing Anko. And then now you just got a feeling like, you know, do you want to give us the characters from the war that you cheated us out on? Or do you just want to go straight to Boruto? It's like you don't know.
I guess, like, do you guys feel like, is there anything, because I mean, I said this before, of like, I feel like Bandai, for whatever reason, it's like, they're like that, like, almost like verbally manipulative parent, where it's like they choose their favorite child and the other two get completely neglected. Where it's like, for a while, it's like Naruto was like the favorite. So like all the games were top tier, all the support was there, yada, yada,
Minus
yada.
Revolution.
Minus Revolution. But even Revolution, like, it had a good idea. Just the execution was not the best. But we're at this point now where it's like, yeah, it's cool that there's a re-interest in Dragon Ball, but it kind of feels like Naruto is like, yeah, we're still making money off this IP, so we're gonna do something. But it's like, bro, like, we're getting Sparking Zero, Xenoverse 2 updates still, Dokkan Battle, Dragon Ball Legends. But meanwhile, Naruto is like, hey, you want to play Ultimate Ninja Storm on your phone? It's like, no. No, I don't. Like, hey, Shinobi Strikers, you want to get another version of Shui, but this time with Susanoo? I was like, no, I don't. Like, I don't want, like, this game is on its like 7th season, and now you're just recycling characters at this point. Like, what? Where is this whole thing of like what happened with Naruto, where it's, you know, they used to be, hey, we're going to give you the latest and the greatest because we know this is going to print money. It's not like the interest in the IP has died.
I think it's because the show is still like in a standby mode. I mean, I would say the show, or I would just say the story. Like, yeah, the manga, you know, did a time skip, but then it's like you could tell they don't want to jump too far because you could tell they probably don't even know what the final list of characters are. Because, you know, they need something to sell you. And, you know, remember, like I said, the biggest issue with Boruto was most of these characters that add so much variety are technically filler. So, like, it's like PyCon times 11. So it's like none of these characters you technically could use, which is kind of dumb because the only reason why we got PyCon in the first place is because he was in the movie. And that was his only technicality getting in. And it's just, it's a lot, bro. And that's what I said. They're just recycling stuff. They're just selling it to you because that's what's available.
It makes sense. And I feel like, especially with the stuff that you were showing us in the group chat from the manga, I'm like, these designs are not working, bro. I'm so sorry.
They look like they were just, one of them looked like they were designed by a kid. Urban True Religion, dog. They look like they was designed by a true bro, I'm looking at them, dog. I'm like, yo, dog, why they look like they wearing denim jeans on top of their foreheads?
Yeah, no. Yeah. Yeah. Like some of these designs, I'm like, fam, this is not it, yo. Like one thing I'll say, like especially that side by side of the Akatsuki versus them, I'm like, bro, the Akatsuki, everything was fire. Like even at that time, you're like, you know what? The boys got painted fingernails, but I can't even hate because everything else looks the ring, the style. Like even though they're all wearing the same cloaks, the way they're wearing it was just different.
The
It's like,
red and
man,
black clouds on the
bruh,
oh, that thing was
style.
looking crazy, man. I was like,
Even paying with the face piercings, you're just like, I don't know what this is, but I'm intrigued. But with Boruto, I'm like, bro, I don't know what this is, but get this off my screen, please. I don't.
it's like they drew that character one time, kind of like the
Yes.
early Dragon Ball Z villains. Like
Mm,
Toriyama drew that guy one time. The
yeah.
GT Dragons, they were drawn one time. Oh, this is the draft. That's it, right?
Yeah. Let's
Yeah,
get to production.
yeah, man.
Yeah. I don't know. It's fascinating. And like I think to move on, but I think to Tim's point in the group chat, like I think it's to the point where like Storm has to kind of be restarted. Like I think it's one of those things where like you're starting to see all the cracks in this at this point, what, 12-year-old engine? 16-year-old
Yeah.
engine? Like you gotta like gut some of this now. Like it's
They
not
treating it
working
like an
anymore.
MMO, man.
Yeah.
It's
But with
getting
none of the MMO perks. But go ahead. What are you saying?
yeah. It's getting like Fantasy Star Online longevity, and that's like, oh, do something. But with Final Fantasy Star Online, they have expansions, and they'll change this and change that, and they'll add new attacks and new features. But yeah, you're right. No MMO treatment. No
Yeah.
MMO treatment at all. I mean, is it once they what was the last Naruto game that they dropped that was actually fire? Was it Storm 4?
I would say Storm for the Boruto expansion was pretty good. I
Okay, but
like
for
that.
me, it was Storm 4.
Okay.
After that, I was like, you can't do anything more than this. This is peak because the battles you got the kaiju battles with the with the the nine tail, eight
Yeah.
tail, and it's just like the storyline, the sequence buttons. This had heart and soul. Now, just do something new. If you're not gonna invest in that the arena Naruto game, don't do this.
Yeah.
Okay, you
I
know what I'm
just
saying? Because it's like that
mm,
should be the next evolution. Because you guys are like y'all buried this under the ground, man. To me, when I see somebody buying expansion pack 27, I'm like, yeah, okay, all right, guys, come on,
yeah. Yeah.
come
No,
on.
I agree. I look at certain things like you guys made original characters for this whole story mode for connections, and they're not playable. Like
I
what?
mean, well, first of all, when you found out what the story is, I wouldn't want them in the first place. It's another Uchiha, and
Yeah,
then there's a guy who wants to be Uchiha. Basically, it's if it's not Rasengan, it's Susanoo.
yeah,
It's Rasengan or Susanoo, and that is exactly where we are right now. Like to be honest, I kind of wish we'll go back to like how it was in the PS2, PSP era of Naruto games. Like
mm-hmm,
especially like when the Ultimate Ninja series started to get into like Shippuden. Like, bro, there was so much quality with those games, bro. Because
mm-hmm,
I miss the days when you had three supers, bro. Like this whole, you only giving me one,
yeah.
one,
Mm-hmm. Oh, I
and
mean,
then
depending on the character, right?
yeah. And then the thing about it is, like, all right, if you're only going to give me one, then you got to give me something of those old supers within the person's combo or like a regular jutsu. It's like, you mean to tell me we get Zabuza and all we got is the hit and miss jutsu? Like, we don't get the water vortex. We don't get. It's like, bro, we don't get nothing.
mm-hmm.
Like, we don't get nothing, bro. And it's like, bro, like, there's so much quality that is just missing here. And then, like how you said, bro, they're just relying on this old engine. Like, oh, but no, if you buy it on PS5, you get 60 frames per second. Okay, and
Right. It's
But
still the
I
same
just
you
tire
still
dry ultimate.
you still didn't give
I
us back
just
our you still didn't give us back the combo that you took out.
Facts.
You're still missing very, very key characters, bro. Like, you mean to tell me if you took all this time between technically Storm 4 at the end of the I would say the Boruto expansion till now, it's like, bro, we should have gotten way more characters than this.
Yeah.
can I be like, if I'm honest, man, like I never expect them to put a lot of effort in their anime games. I
Why?
just it never comes across as a priority, right? The reason why I say that is because you have this luscious world, and none of the anime games ever lead the market because you have like, why do I have to wait this long for Dragon Ball Z to finally do something that makes sense in some way, right? Sparking Zero seems to like, yo, man, this Dragon Ball Z Fighter game looks pretty good. Let's kind of like conjoin. That's a very good stylistic wise choice in my opinion. Because
Mm-hmm.
now you got the hair moving, the grass moving. They're fighting. The people are actually running away during the
Mm-hmm.
tournaments because they can feel the powers getting intense. This shows me that there's somebody in the team that's thinking. The fact that they dropped a Toonami trailer. Toonami
Means
was only big here,
yeah.
right? So that means that thing is echoing, right? Because Naruto, why is it taking so long for Naruto to have an actual fighting game? Like that'll be the easiest rack 'em up, swap some skin thing to do, right? But I
Yeah.
just never felt that because once you give me a combat system that kind of like I can kind of drag and drop, I automatically know where that creative team is going. In my opinion, that's how I feel
Mm-hmm.
about it. Because all the games that take that model, these are something you can just bake, throw out, bake, throw out. It almost feels like Madden. Madden, the next time you see Madden, look at this. Look at Warren Sapp's eyelash, or Tom's Brady eyelash on his eyebrow. This time his eyebrow creases with 17 more polygons
Mm-hmm.
versus the actual movement and feel of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Now, why it take you so long to bring back double NCAA? Right? You know what I'm saying? That's what people were asking you for years. You know? Okay, I understand there was legal purposes behind it. Okay, but why did it take so long? Y'all should have been okay, even with that, right? But then
Mm-hmm.
I just never feel like they put the effort, because why isn't Naruto having the backing of a AAA game? Like, it's there. Y'all don't have to do much but follow the lore.
I
You know what I'm
think
saying? And so
it's a good
that's my
question.
opinion.
No, it's a good question, and I agree with you. I think it's one of those things where it's like it's hard for a company to learn new ways. Obviously, right? For one of the topics we'll talk about later. But it's one of those things where it's like I think Bandai has like they've cruised for so long on doing the bare minimum that they're only starting to see the backlash now, right? It's like Jujutsu Kaisen is a franchise that should be flying off the shelves, and no one is buying that game because, to your point, S Rank, it was literally like y'all took a little sprinkle of Storm Connections, a little sprinkle of My Hero Academia, One's Justice, and threw it together and threw it on the shelves. This combat system don't even make sense for this world, and no one's playing it. They're giving you free DLC characters, and no one is playing it.
And not only that, we also had a Demon Slayer game.
People bought that. People bought
People
it.
bought it. People bought it.
People bought it.
Okay, but
It did
the fact that
well
it's
enough.
like my go to is arena, angle this, angle that, boom, anime game. Dog, it doesn't
Crank the
inspire me to buy
contrast
the
up.
game.
Turn the
For me,
light.
from the outside looking in, when I see people who are big fans of these Naruto properties, I shed a tear because it's almost like, Lord, forgive them for they do not know. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mm,
because they love the property so much. I'm like, guys, y'all getting jibbed.
yeah.
When I play Naruto game, I'll say, I always buy it on sale. I never buy it day one.
Mm-hmm.
I buy it when it's $13 because okay, play Naruto. Okay, that little sequence is fun. I don't put my heart and effort. I don't treat them like how other people might hold them up to. Because to me, I'm like, man, they got the greatest specials. It's very flashy. The quick time events are super fun.
Mm-hmm.
Love them. The color scheme, beautiful. But then when you finally play it, I'm like, y'all could have did more. These characters
Mm-hmm.
could do more though. And the
Circle,
fact that I
circle,
know that
circle, circle. Triangle, circle, 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 circle. X, circle, circle, circle.
certain characters make more sense to be played defensively.
Mm-hmm.
Why can't Gara, you know what I'm saying? If you get close to him, you start to slow down because the sand gets in your eye. It's just certain things. It's just like, yo, this doesn't make any sense for me, and I just don't see the backing of it. You got One Piece here. One Piece should be treated like a World of Warcraft, but where's the vision? Like,
Mm-hmm.
you can go to Skype. This is literally a Disneyland theme park with other ideas and theme parks in there. Like, there should be. I don't need to play as Luffy in the Straw Hats. Make me play as a character that's just in that world.
It could work. It
Give
could
me
work.
my money.
Mm-hmm.
You may not be able to play as Luffy, but we could make you a character that eats a devil fruit, and now we got a whole game. But it's just there's never the like you have Tekken, you have Naruto, which shape generations.
Mm-hmm.
Which, not saying Tekken don't deserve what it's getting, but like, yo, y'all could easily expand and make wiser decisions. But I don't want to stay too long on this. But that's from the outside looking in. I just never felt they respected the people to the degree that they needed to be respected to. Because look at how y'all feel it. I'm looking at every time they drop a trailer. I'm like, man, should I put this in the chat? Because I know, boy, the passion is there, kid.
I feel like, and we can close out on this. I feel like after Storm 2, that's when you started to really see the shift. It was just more of a copy and paste format.
Mm.
Because, like, look, the biggest, like, after Storm 2, which was a big highlight because that was a real good era of Shippuden where things were just racking up like crazy. Like, the biggest thing about the next installment, which was Generations, like, oh, yes, you could praise the pre-time skip characters. I was like, that's it? Oh yeah, we're finally giving you Zabuza and Haku. I was like,
And the first and second Hokage. Don't forget about that.
I was like, and then they did Storm 3, which was supposed to be the biggest expansion in terms of variety. I mean,
Yeah.
which we did to a certain extent. We finally got a lot of ninjas from like other villages. We got the Jinchuriki as well.
Mm-hmm.
But then it was the big, fiasco with like, okay, so we definitely fought Kages in the story mode. Where are they? Oh,
NPC.
NPC. Well, we're gonna sell them to you as DLC characters. I was like, wait, what? And then after that, it was just you just knew. Well, actually, like I said, from Generations, you just knew what to really expect, and they're just continuing that formula, bro. Because especially like when I saw this game is like Naruto Boruto Connections, it's just that placeholder. Because I already know Storm 5, once again, they are just going to give you like, hey, here are some characters for XYZ, enjoy this and enjoy that.
With the same combat engine. But yeah, we'll move the conversation a little bit more.
Yeah, mobile
forward.
game treatment, man.
Yeah, we'll move the conversation a little bit forward. And in terms of we mentioned Sparking Zero a couple times, and we mentioned that like there seems to be a little bit more of a focus in terms of dialing out the marketing for this series. Like Jory mentioned, there was the Toonami trailer that got me. Sometimes marketing works, sometimes nostalgia debate works. I'm like, man,
got us.
Yeah, got us. I'm like, well, I will be there.
Pre-order, dog. Yeah, pre-order, man. Y'all get the full 70.
So sometimes marketing works. It's crazy that it took this long into the marketing cycle. I'm like, I could wait. Even the GG trailer, I'm like, even the movies, I'm like, that.
Yeah.
And then the Toonami trailer dropped. I was like,
dog, hey, listen, man. I heard that. Man, if they, why we not playing it?
No, we can play it.
Oh, yeah, let's play it, man. Let's play it.
We can play it. It's only 45 seconds. 45 seconds of greatness. Let me cue it up real quick.
They're missing somebody though.
They're missing a lot of people, to be honest. But we'll get to that in a second.
You've been waiting for this moment.
Tremble before my power!
Challenge accepted. I'll put you out of your mission. Don't you dare!
No more holding back! Like this!
You're dealing with the proud prince of all Saiyans! I will defeat you this day!
Bring
time is now.
And as soon as I heard that,
Still not buying it though. On this end.
I hit the digi modify so quick with the credit card.
dog, man, I had to, bruh. You what's Ty DD Evolution theme song? That Tranquility played up like dog. The Kaba music came on, dog. From down.
The Cresta payment plan just hit.
Dog, what Cresta payment plan? Dog, it was done, kid. What you been waiting for?
Power Rangers in space on my pin code 0011.
Once they had that pause, dog, I'm the principal said. I said, yo, if they did season 2 Toonami, oh man.
Yeah.
The principal says, what's it? Dog, I said, let me buy the DLC, the T-shirt,
the
Slurpee drink at 7-Eleven, dog. It'd have been over, kid.
Yeah. So sometimes the style debate works. Sometimes it works.
That was it. They got us.
Yeah.
They got us. I said,
and to be fair, it's like I know Tim's about to like rightfully so kick the roster in a little bit, but I'm like, to be honest, even without transformations and what I think, so the character roster is 182. Let's just say without transformations, it's half that. So I'm like, so almost 100 characters for a game with an offline mode, with a customization option, with an unlockable moveset. Okay.
You can unlock moves?
Yeah. Not for every character, of course, but certain characters like, Goku, of course, going to have customizable supers to a degree. To Tim's point, it's just going to be a different rush or a different beam, but yeah, it's there. It's there.
Mm-hmm. I guess. I mean, but then, like how we said, we've seen the variety of Dragon Ball IPs. You have the Fighter Z style, you have this, you have the action RPG type of style. So, like, I'd say in the grand scheme of things, there's room for everybody. Personally, for me, seeing the different variety has now solidified which ones I like. Because, for example, like I was the person, I had all the Tenkaichis, I had all the Budokais, but then I remember one day I was like, bro, I just missed Tenkaichi. So, Budokai. So I put in Budokai 3 and I was like, bro, I miss combos. I miss like actual combos. Like I remember when you're playing with Cell, when you're trying to do the Spirit Bomb, like when he does that little back kick and you just know it's already over.
Yeah.
Or when Vegeta and Trunks do that double kick in the air, it's like, bro, it was such a satisfying feeling. But then you go back to Tenkaichi, it's like, da-da-da-da. Oh, huh.
It's true.
Yes, yes, Tenkaichi, I missed the more open environment. I did miss that aspect, but it was like you had to take one or the other. But then ultimately, yeah, man, I just chose bro, I miss combos. And I kind of felt like, that was really refined when Fighter Z came around, man. It was just very fast paced. You really saw the depth into what they put into characters, even characters that you never even thought, bro. Like, I was looking at some guys, especially after the new patch, playing with Videl. I was like, bro, this is beautiful gameplay. And it's like, it's with Videl. You wouldn't even think about that on a regular day, bro. It's Videl. And, even what they did with Master Roshi, man, it's like, bro, this is the Turtle Hermit, bro. He's a perfect balance of what he did in Dragon Ball, even from what you saw in that one movie when he was fighting those 3 guys very super fast, and of course, Super. It's like you really say, yes, this is their teacher, and this is what he is capable of, and it was just beautiful, man. And I'm just really looking forward to see, where do they take that franchise down the line, if Arc Systems and Bandai ever hash out their differences. But then, like I said, in the grand scheme of things, Dragon Ball, there's a lot of room for things. I mean, I am scared because, as we saying, the story aspects of these things are beginning to plateau.
Yeah.
They're really starting to get into a rut. So now in terms of sales, it's kind of like we're getting to the point where how many times are you going to sell me the same thing? And that's why I didn't really care for Kakarot like that. It's bro, you're literally about to sell me Saiyan Saga to Buu Saga again.
And not
And
even.
then a couple of DLC chapters from the movies, and then you had that one Dragon Ball highlight, and it's just like, so that's literally, and it kind of really give me like a projection, like, wow, this is where we're going. It's because the series is technically at a standstill. Yes, with this one, they could do whatever they can because Daima is coming out. But then, all right, well, once that is done, and and especially where we stand with Akira Toriyama, passing away, where does this series go? And to be honest, man, I kind of feel like they've run out of so many what if ideas to the point where they're burnt out. They
Should
don't
have
know what to
never
do.
did Heroes.
I
They don't.
mean, I think Heroes would have been a good place to draw inspiration from. I think like again, we don't have to rehash it, but like I think there was a lot of inklings of good ideas that it's just like, well, if you keep doing what ifs, it's not going to matter in the grand scheme of things.
Oh, I don't know how true this is. I think I watched it on a YouTube video, but there might. You guys remember that DS game called Fusions?
Yes, I have it. It's great. It's actually really, really fun.
Very, very good. Very. It had too much life in it, and it was weird. Like I'm like, yo, this feels like Toriyama had his hand in it. You know what I'm saying?
Probably, yeah.
Yo, so it was actually. I actually got to buy me another DS because I need to get that game.
Yeah, it's not a lot of fun.
Yeah,
it's a lot of fun.
And so I think they're gonna bring those characters. Yeah, they had ideas, bro. I don't want it. I don't want it. I'm just saying they if they're really in a drought, because this is the thing that bothers me about these companies. They get like in such a hard place financially. Like, man, I think we have to listen to fans now.
But I feel like that's why I feel like Sparking Zero is a level of them listening to fans of like to Tim's point. It's like Dragon Ball is able to be a lot of different things for a lot of different gamers. So it's like for people who want a more casual spectacle based IP, there's no reason why there should have been such a big gap between the last Raging Blast and this Sparking Zero. Like you should still be feeding. Huh?
How much did Raging Blast sell?
No, the reason for the biggest gap it was because they was milking Xenoverse 1 and 2.
Yeah, that's true too. But that goes to my point of like Xenoverse is not a game for everybody. Like at a certain point, it's like, okay, this was cool. Like again, this whole concept of like technically us three could play Xenoverse and go jump sell max, right? I'm like, that's a cool concept, but what if I don't want to do that? Right? Like what if I want to get back to a whole one-on-one thing? Like the one-on-one in Xenoverse is god awful. It's horrible. And then every transformation is a new character, like literally. So like there's certain things where it's like I think they just need to do a better job of like appealing to those fan bases. Of like there should be a rotation of maybe an action RPG, Deep Dragon Ball, a Fighters Dragon Ball, and a Sparking Dragon Ball, and just rotate them off through the years. Do a Call of Duty. Have different teams develop different projects every couple of years. Simple. It's a big enough property. Like again, look at Dragon Ball Breakers, bro. People are buying that game. It's not for me.
Crazy. Crazy, dog.
It's not for me. I don't see the appeal of playing as Bulma as I run away from Frieza blowing up the planet. Like, that's not my idea of a good time. Dragon Ball meets Dead by Daylight, but
they just want their money, man. They want their money. Dead by Daylight's making all this money. And it's like, and then the game don't even run good. And that's what's a part of the game. That's what's so appealing about the game. It's botched. And I'm like, yo, what generation of gamers is this?
Bro, they're on season 3 on that game. Season 3. But to move the conversation forward a little bit, I did mention before we started recording, there was a discourse that's been kind of brewing within the anime community, especially around Sparking Zero, where a select few of, notable content creators had earlier access to the game throughout the development period, to the point that a lot of them had the chances to go play the next to final build of Sparking Zero for almost 3 hours and record as much footage as they want. So you type in Sparking Zero and you can pretty much see the moveset of every single character in the game, which led to some discontent from smaller content creators who are like, well, I'm an anime game channel. What's the point of me dropping this content if, one, you guys got to play the final build, you're dropping whole move sets online, you're probably going to get the game before I do. How do I get to grow my channel in views when the 6 or 8 of you guys are all getting to play everything early before me?
Oh, the DLC is coming out next week. Easy.
They at this point, all they would have to do is they showcase their online matches.
You think so?
That's what most people do after a certain point. They just upload their online matches and try to make it as hectic as possible.
Because it makes me feel like, are we reaching a point even within the gaming space where there's like the elite, right? Because like it's been like that through every other media.
Look at it's gonna happen. That's what people naturally like. The whole geekdom thing.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying, that's something. I think so. I'm not surprised. Like we got, Nero May Cry, and it's just like, yo, dog, what? Oh, it's a parallel universe. That's why. No, stop. And it's just like, that's the only person that could play that character. I'm like, yo, what happened to Ruben? You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, there are millions of people on this planet with uniquer voices. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it just, yeah, I think so. Because
it's like, it's a thing that, to be fair, was very prevalent when we were all growing up, right? It's like, there was a time period, especially to use the movies as a comparison, where it's like, you weren't going to go see Man on Fire necessarily. You're going to go see the new Denzel movie, right? You're going to go see the new Angelina Jolie movie. Who cares what it's called? I'm going to go see Keanu Reeves in whatever he's in. And I feel like it's kind of hit that aspect with content creators a little bit of like, these are the forefronts. Granted, it's still a very niche industry, right? Like, the people who are getting early access to Mortal Kombat aren't necessarily the same people getting early access to Sparking Zero, but it still kind of feels of like, all right, if I'm not like true underdog gaming or history behind the warrior, do I not have a chance to like break through? If I'm not Rhyme Style or like Nano Jennings, do I not get to like break into this?
Yes. If your channel, if you're no long, if you become a stream, like if you go from stream to river, yeah. Yeah, that's what it is.
And I also feel like it depends on what you do, like overall on a daily basis. Like, are you a type of channel where you do deep dives into the lore? Do you do these type of aspects? Like, and I kind of feel like, when channels, when they look at that, they try to see like, well, how are you boosting this IP on a fairly daily basis? Because I know for like certain people, like the ones who have all the crazy theories and the what ifs and this and that and the third, what I would have done in terms if I was a writer for this, like they're looking at that type of stuff to see. But he's like, hey, I play your games all the time and I just want it. It's hard to really say that. But then, it's an ecosystem of itself, man. And, it's a very competitive one for sure. And, that's just the game that you're in.
Yeah, like, I mean, could you imagine if we only covered One Punch Man?
I mean, but even with that though, there's a niche for it, bro. Like,
yeah, there is, but like, it's just who's doing it. And then, that quote, it doesn't matter about who did it first, who's doing it the best.
Yeah.
So those are
true. But when you got, it's like, it's kind of like, well, even if let's just say if I'm a better rapper than Drake got millions of resources, right? It's like,
that's like,
it's 20 verse 1, like I gotta.
No, but Jory has a point because, there's been times where like, all right, let's just say if I'm going through like an open world game and I need help with a specific trophy unlock. All right, if I type it in, yes, 5 videos are going to show me how to do it. All right, but this first person, he did this the hard way. Forget that. Okay, I skipped to the 3rd video. I was like, oh, that was a bit more straightforward. Did it? Bling. Thank you, sir. And
But
yes, that person may have lesser views than that person, the first person that did it, because the first one may be a bigger household name. But it's just a simple fact that what George just said is how
okay.
everybody's different, and and I think that's also the signature of the artist. As everybody as an artist, everybody's gonna do things differently because, like, this person showed me a little shortcut that I didn't even know about.
Mm.
And then even with on top of that, it's style, it's the person, it's I can't get mad. Like for us, I feel like what we be talking, we're like the most organic channel.
Mm-hmm.
We talk about stuff naturally. We literally say everything people are thinking but are afraid to say or don't know how to say it.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and then we see thumbnails change. We're like, yo, God, this look like it's like our thumbnails. Like we didn't see this style prior to.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just about who does it best or who's consistent enough for it to finally be like, no, hey, I saw it on Press Start Select first. That one guy that's going, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's gonna be like, no, man, hey, these boys,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
it's a long game. It's longevity,
yeah.
man.
So it's not even, Romstar was doing. Can we say, yeah, that guy was doing
No, he
Dokkan
put his
Battle
work
for.
in, bro. He
He
put
put
his
his
work
work in.
in.
You feel
Yeah.
me? He was doing Dokkan Battle. Like, can't get really mad at him.
Yeah, he was doing
Like
YouTube before YouTube was monetized. I
before, yeah,
remember.
you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's like y'all can't get mad at Max because Max was doing it 2008. You know what I'm saying? Like, when we was in college. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just not these people. They're kind of like that's my thing. That's where it's like I'm like, listen. There's already people doing the fact that you're doing a YouTube channel, you should automatically carry that same attitude.
Mm.
Well, why is it? Why aren't we making? No, we just gotta figure it out. What makes us better, and what makes YouTube notice people. That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
So that's how I feel about it. I wouldn't. Yeah, I wouldn't. You just have to find another strategy, man. Like, and it might be a blessing that you can't join the saturated market of this event. You
Yeah, I mean
know.
that's true too. There's a lot that comes with it.
Yeah, there's a lot to come with it. It's
Yeah.
just, can we do a tech channel? Good luck beating Marcus Broly.
Marcus, yeah, man.
Good luck. Dog got the Infinity Gauntlet. I don't care about nobody else because of him. I said, well, I'll wait for Marcus's channel.
Yeah. Yeah.
Marcus could take 2 weeks, win a frisbee competition, and then I'm like, yo, you know
But that's
what I'm saying?
But that's the part where it gets tricky because like there's that too of like the other people like I don't care who you know what I'm saying, like I don't care who else covers Final Fantasy. I'm waiting for Max to talk about it. And that's why I feel like there's a balance of like, yeah, you gotta do something different, but I'm like, but this person, I'm just used to it. I'm just used to their style. I don't dislike it. Right. Sometimes they rebrand. Like I mean, I'll say it. I remember there was a time I thought Afro Senju was the most aggravating to my eardrums YouTuber for the longest. Then he kind of rebranded himself, stopped screaming to the microphone all the time, and I find his content very enjoyable now. But like he still had the audience to kind of rebrand and still be at the top. With his brand, I'm just like, well, does that work for the middling content creator, the small content creator who's just trying to like get their foot in the door? And really,
you have to carry that uniqueness, and we're going off topic, but that's it still pertains to we can have that attitude about everything in life. Why weren't we born into the certain Goldberg family or the silver Hawk family or whatever? It's just it is what it is. You win with what you got. I'm not 6'2". You know what I'm saying? I have to play the game on Elden Ring. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, I get you. No, that's
yeah.
good. Yeah. You got to deal with the cards that you were dealt. I get that.
Exactly, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, not everybody gonna pull out a blue eye holographic, dog. It's not gonna do it, kid. I was saying, maybe not gonna just open it and I'm not gonna draw Exodia, dog. You feel me? Weave will touch my deck before anything, man. So it's
right.
like
Sometimes this is this time wizard and a prayer.
Karibo level 3, my third Karibo in the deck. Boy, oh my heart would drop.
Oh my
Swords
gosh.
of Revealing Light again. All right. I'm gonna win it this time, Mom. Just buy one more pack. One more
Oh
pack,
my
mom.
goodness, for
Yeah,
real.
dog.
That's funny. That's funny.
Yep.
But to move into another topic of discussion, a lot of people are talking about it right now. They officially dropped Mortal Kombat Chaos Reigns yesterday. We've all had the pleasure to at least watch the whole story mode or know what the story mode or happened in the story mode prior to the pod, so we can discuss it, spoilers and all. And I know we had some thoughts that we discussed in the group chat. But fellas, what were your thoughts about the rollout of Chaos Reigns?
I didn't watch everything, but it's okay. I
Okay.
never had faith in it. So you guys giving the recap on what happened last episode of Dragon Ball Z was fine by me.
Okay.
In fact, I was actually at peace. You know what, man? I don't have to. I could watch something else.
Go ahead,
I
Tim.
got
When y'all was texting, oh man, go ahead. Once y'all said Agent Smith and Neo, Matrix 3, I said,
Yeah.
okay, guys.
Yep.
okay. Like overall, all right. Due to where NetherRealm is at, like you could tell, like bro, yeah, they're out of reboots. Like whatever happens in Liu Kang's universe, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
And they just have to make the best of it. And I kind of do feel like as the first installment towards that future, it's like you're literally on the borderline. Like you're at a C minus with me.
Mm-hmm.
Like first of all, I am gonna keep saying it, man. The cameo system is a problem. It is a problem.
Okay.
To get back into detail about Chaos Reigns, I kind of feel like it was overhyped. It's overpriced
Mm.
for a 5.5 out of 10 story.
Woo.
Yes. Now, and I will give the pros and cons. To be honest, the new Cyrax and Sector, I actually like them.
Mm-hmm.
I actually like what they've done with them. The gender swap, plays out well. Even the how they handle the cybernetics, like it's a costume. It's literally a suit.
Mm-hmm.
It works out very, very well. When you look at their intros, like you're getting a sense more of a sense of their lore behind them. It's all put together well. I did not like the fact that they were technically like romance, like ex romance or
Both of
current
them,
rom
bro. My
to
goodness.
Bihan and Sub Zero. I kind of felt like bro, that was kind of just
Unnecessary, yo. Completely
unnecessary.
unnecessary. Yeah.
Because like, all right, especially like when you look at Mortal Kombat 11, it's like you could tell like Cyrax and that version of Kuai Liang were like almost like very close friends. They were very, very close friends.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of feel like why can't you have that for Cyrax and this version of Kuai Liang? Because when you really look at it, bro, like, and somebody brought this up, for the second season of Avatar, the live action, they said, for the love of God, please do not erase Aang and Toph's sibling like friendship.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, bro, that is very true. Because you realize they did bond on that type of level because you realize they were the youngest out of that entire group.
Mm-hmm.
They were. And that's why they really meshed together. And it was just the level of friendship that they had. And because Toph was also one of his hardest teachers. So you saw that duality that, like, yes, I'm your friend. We play, we joke around, but you need to get this right.
Yeah.
So to go back, I just kind of felt like, bro, like they were doing too much. Like even like the most interesting characters out of that entire story was Empress Rain and Empress Tanya, and it's like, bro, these are variants that we are never going to see again. And I was like, bro,
Especially one in particular.
yeah, it's like, bro, like so you finally give us an in-depth Rain character. Because due to him being DLC, his story was always kind of felt very rushed.
Yeah,
and then of
incomplete.
course in this new era, he was one of the bad apples.
And
Okay,
all the things that happened with his story happened off screen before the game started.
yeah. So and it just kind of it was just a bit much to me, man. And then and I kind of just felt like like I said, bro, like you beefed up Havoc so much for such a flop, bro. Because, like, first of
Yeah.
all, this focus on Garrus, I was like, why this particular Garrus when he has a Garrus on his team? But
Yeah.
then you realize when you got to the torture chamber, he's killed other versions of Garrus. Like, so what happened to those Garruses that this one is so important?
I mean, my thought was, and again, well, I'll say like a lot of my critiques when you're done, but I think what's implied is, remember at the end of MK1, Liu Kang relinquishes his powers back to Garrus. So this is like Titan Garrus, where like Liu Kang's still a god, but Garrus is still like a benevolent Titan. So he's more
Whatever.
powerful than your
More
average.
more powerful, but got captured so easily.
That's one of the
And
things I was
like I
gonna
was
say,
like,
but I'll wait. Power scaling in this story was go
and
ahead.
then
Saturday morning cartoon Superman. That's what y'all
Yes,
saying?
sir. Justice League
and
season
then
1 Superman.
And then it's like, all right, Noob Saibot, I do like the changes with him. I did kind of feel like, all right, once again, you're getting rid of a Cryomancer. So it's like, I kind of felt like he should have his shadow and ice powers because when you really look at it, look at the Revenants. Like, they were technically undead, but they still had their powers. Why is it when it comes to Bihan, he has to lose his powers? Like,
I
why can't you
thought
just be a corrupted version and you can use the shadow clones, whatever, but you could still use ice.
that's what I
Like,
thought they were gonna do.
no,
Thought his
no, they
shadow would be
didn't.
ice shadows. I'm like, oh,
No, no.
that's a new cyborg. You
Yeah,
feel me?
yeah,
But
So
no,
it's kind of like, all right, so you got rid of you got rid of your cryomancer, and then technically the only other cryomancer that you got is locked behind a cameo.
yeah.
And then to be honest, bro, like, and I get it, a lot of people have been saying, like, especially as of now, due to this cameo system, Mortal Kombat's, roster lacks a lot of female representation. I was like, yes, bro, like, first of all, you finally show Serena in her demon form, but she's locked behind a cameo. You lock Sonya behind a cameo. Who else? It's like, bro, like there's so much variety that you could have just added to this roster that, especially from the 3D era, because, that's where we got more extensions of the Black Dragon, the Red Dragon, but it just now you're just Liu Kang and the bros and these fairy tale creatures. And it's like, and then to go back to the story, bro, it's like, all right, Havoc was dismembering himself the entire mode, bro. The man threw his own head through a portal just for kicks. But then the one time Bihan rips him apart, it's like, oh, he's in pain? And then, I mean, they did highlight this in the MKX comic. They said, yes, in every universe, the Kami Dogu take on a different form.
Mm-hmm.
Because there was one time, like, before, Liu Kang and Kronika did their thing, the Kami Gogu, they were like, especially after Raiden reset the timeline, the Kami Dogu, they turned from what we knew from what were they originally, like those token looking symbols, like talismans. They became like daggers. So they changed. So I guess whenever you change or revamp the timeline, they become something else. But I did not like the fact that
I
you
like
just
that.
made them Infinity Stones, bro. Like even how they looked, I was like, bro, are you serious?
Yep.
That's my
No
whole problem with
originality.
this DLC, man. It's not that it's not original. It's a pitch. It's a
And
pitch.
It's a very soft pitch.
So
and then
it's not a soft pitch. It's a strong.
so it's like you got this Titan Shang Tsung infused
Once you
with
fly like Iron Man, it's over, bro.
infused with the Kami Dogu. All right, he just gets defeated. Okay, of course, but then he just disappears. Like not even like disappear. Like you see him leave. Like no, he just like Bihan is going for the final kill. He's been stopped. It's like yes, Bihan, you have to learn from your ways. And it's like okay, show us what happened to Havoc. Oh no, cut to the credits.
Yep.
So we don't know what happens to Havoc. The whole reason of this entire story, we don't know. We just jumped to Bihan and him in solitary
That's
confinement. And I was like, bro, that
that's
is a
crazy.
waste. That is a waste. That is a complete waste. Absolute waste, bro. And then to be honest, bro, I was also very, and this is where I feel like Aftermath did a much better job, It's like, all right, so Aftermath featured the season 1 DLC characters. You were able to play as Sindel, Shao Kahn. So I was like, you mean to tell me with all this highlight about the Shira Ryu, where is Takeda? Oh, Takeda's on. Oh, there's a chaos version of Takeda. I was like, I didn't ask for that, bro. I did not ask for that.
Another
And it's
question
just
for you,
like, bro,
Tim.
that is such a fumble.
What happens to Smoke after the first chapter?
Bro. And then my thing about it is, you give us good 2 highlights on 2 particular characters like Chameleon and Scorpion's wife, Harumi. Harumi was like, I'm about to defend my man.
Mm-hmm. Pull the blades out the wedding dress and got to it.
And just like, so why is this woman not a character?
Oh, that's
she's going to be a cameo for sure.
That's the hidden character.
No, she's going to be a cameo for sure.
That's the hidden character.
For sure, a cameo.
That's the hidden character, guys.
No, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Hidden character. Hey, cameo season 2. Harumi. Guaranteed.
Crazy.
Mark it. Remember this day.
And then it's like, I also, in Point Blank, I felt like this would have been a good chance to introduce Jade. Because, like, bro, there are so many subtle hints about her. It's
Gentlemen,
like, bro, where is this person?
Gentlemen, this is the beginning of the story fighting. The companies are going to have to make a decision. Either we take our stories serious or we don't. And if we don't, we will be surprised to see how many people don't really buy our games full price.
Yeah, I actually have a hot take on why I don't think this worked.
I've thought about it, and I realize they might consider it to be a monster, but I'm just gonna say you have to do both. You have to give a good story, good game.
I
think you have to.
I'm gonna say my hot take, and then I'm gonna give my little quick summary.
But yeah, off of what I'm hearing from Mortal Kombat, and when we get to the next topic, Dore, when we get to that,
I think the biggest issue, realistically, with Chaos Reigns, why it didn't work is due to the guest characters being on the roster. Like, as I'm sitting there watching, I'm like, there's so many resources being devoted of like, here is this next season pass. To Tim's point of like, there's just something about this roster that doesn't feel complete in this. Where is this person? Where is Jade? Where is this? Where is that?
But we said that last
right.
It's not complete.
But then you start thinking of like, well, if there's 6 characters coming and 3 of them are from completely different IP, the development time that would have gone to putting them in the game is now nowhere to be found, because now we got to introduce Ghostface, the T-1000, and such and such and so on. That's going to have no relevance to your point that you said, as previous pods will not be here in MK 1.5, right? It's just like, it's just these glaring omissions of like, we have to do more with less because we're committed to putting these guest characters in. You don't
think how wild pass. That we have Homelander slot. Character slot, original MK character slot. Omni-Man, Ghostface, Conan. That's already 4 characters, T-1000.
Mm-hmm.
That's 5 characters that could have been characters from Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
And to me, I was like, yo, it's cool, but it's overkill. And now look. Like, oh well, it worked with Spawn and RoboCop, and I said, well, and like, yeah, but those were nice add-ons towards the end of something,
right?
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yes,
that's not like at this point. Just have WB fund you a licensed movie game to where you're fighting. If that's really what you want to do, you know what I'm saying? Because you love these characters so much. I'm like, but that's an end-off character. That's like icing on the cake.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's not.
It shouldn't be half game characters, half IP characters.
And then I'm like, yo, where the cameo problem? So like, you have the cameo system, then just give us a tag. It doesn't, because this is more harmful than giving us a functional tag match as an option. That would have been a DLC to pay. Hey, you guys want the tag battle? Pay for it. Okay.
Yeah.
At least, right?
Because seeing in the story mode, seeing Chameleon there, I'm like, this is awkward. That's why I sent that GIF. I'm like, she thinks she's part of the team. Like you will not you
Giving her the Booby Miles special from Friday Night Lights, man. Like, oh
she thinks she part of the team. Like you are you are a literal background character.
no, man. I
Literal.
mean, yeah,
So
it is.
that's my
Yeah, go
issue. It's
ahead.
like, yeah, there's just certain things. Like I think that's the thing that keeps undercutting the story. You start thinking like, but where is such and such? Like, oh right, they're not in the game because Ghostface is coming. Real quick, the
I just
things that
didn't think they were enough characters to tell a cohesive story, man.
I agree.
Because now you're restricted to using chess pieces that you already would have during a chess game,
Yeah. And
and now
you're
you can
also
only use.
restricted into reusing characters that have already played a prevalent part in the main story. Of like the one thing that like sucked, which I said before the whole thing launched, is like you're gonna get to play these Havoc Chaos variants of characters that are gonna play the exact same way.
Nothing new.
Yeah, it's Raiden with a buzz cut now. Like it's the same moveset. There's no like mix up. There's no like now he's shooting fire and like or whatever the case may be. He has katanas with like no, it's the same combos.
But you know what I found that was so interesting was like you see how they did the chaos variants. It was because they realized that how they botched the original stories, and then they realized that whole hybrid type of character stuff. They didn't realize people didn't like that. Because imagine it's like, all right, because you basically brought so many people from different variants of like from their own timelines. So like, yeah, this could have been a Order Realm Shang Tsung. This could have been an Order Realm this, or Order Realm that. This could have been a NetherRealm version of Katana or something like that. And I mean, I like how they did simplify that, but then it was just like, bro, like, you could just tell, like, this story, they were just doing too much, bro. They jam packed too much about it. Because even when Scorpion was trying to explain to Cyrax why he left, it's like, well, bro, she does kind of have a point. You just kind of upped and left. But then I'm looking at the storyboard, all right, after they knocked out Bihan, they just kind of skipped into the epilogue of the story where it was just this big grand battle. It's like, so we're not going to see the Lin Kuei temple. We're not going to about to see them get outcasted or anything else like that. We're not about to see, like, there was just so many plot holes in the story to more towards the end that kind of they were just trying to make up for it with this one. Like, to Jory's point, I do kind of felt like Cyrax and Schecter should have been in the base roster.
Yeah. Yeah.
They should
That's
have.
not even question. That's not even a question. Like this DLC should have been handled the same way Aftermath was, in a sense, with a fresh, new variety of characters that you want to see interact with each other.
Yeah.
Should have been that.
A
It should
story
have
that
been
takes
us
place post what happens in the
post
story.
what happens,
Yeah.
and these
And that's
characters.
why. And that's why we
setting
were
up for
able
part
to
three.
play with the characters from season 1 and season 2. You were able to play as Shiva. You was able to play as Nightwolf. You was able to play as Fujin. Like, it made sense because they were not in the base story. Now, yes, of course, yes, Cyrus and Sector were not. Knew it wasn't, but it's just a simple fact, bro. Like, it's just too much overly used stuff, and it's like and this is where like I kind of feel like this is where the multiverse madness gets very old quickly, bro. It's too much rehash stuff, bro. And it's like you might fall in love with a variant, but it's like, bro, we're never gonna see you ever again.
Yep.
And like I never wanted to see Sub-Zero Quan Chi. Like I don't know who thought that was attractive, dog. That was like one of
but then there's
the
the thing is
nastiest things ever.
the thing to that is like there's the flip side of that, right? Because like going back to Tim's point about the story, there's a part in the story where you realize that Takeda or Chaos Takeda and Chaos Kenshi are Havoc's right hand men. And part of the reason is because Havoc Kenshi has found a way to draw even more power from Sento than you've ever seen before. And I was like, man, that's an interesting concept. Nothing happens.
And that's my thing, right? You do all this and then okay, so this drives me back to I'll say what I want to say when we dive into the other part that we want to talk about. But
yeah,
I guess we said everything we need to say.
Yeah, just real quick, the things that I didn't like was the power scaling made no sense. Of like, why is it that Cyrax, who again lore wise, you're telling me is subservient to her grandmasters in strength? I'm like, you just beat Grandmaster Scorpion. You just beat Grandmaster Sub-Zero. who are supposed to be stronger than you. And it's not based off like, oh, it's nepotism. Like, no, you're granted Grandmaster by strength. So if I can beat Scorpion, why would I then in the next cutscene be like, I'm sorry I disgraced you, feel free to kill me? It's like, fam, I just beat you. So lore wise, I'm Grandmaster now. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was just certain things I'm just like, wait, what? Like, how is it that I just beat you, but I'm apologizing and recognizing your strength? And then when Havoc shows up, it's like, he's a Titan. And again, from what I understand, Liu Kang is no longer a Titan. So I can understand him overpowering Liu Kang in that moment. But Garrus is a Titan. And to Tim's point, he's like, he just gets captured like he's Sakura. I'm just like, I don't under. You can stop time. What are you doing? What are you doing? You know, it's almost like, what happened? Why aren't you able to fight back? And then you get the Infinity Stones, the Kamidogu, which makes you even stronger. But then you lose to Noob Saibot? And Noob Saibot has no new power-ups, no nothing.
And you gave him the powers?
Yeah, the powers from the powers you gave him. And it wasn't like, oh, only Chaos Magic can defeat Chaos Magic. I mean, maybe that was the case. They never said anything. But I'm just like, it's just not, like, you already were powered up. And now you have the 7 Dragon Balls in your chest. You're Omega Shenron Havoc, and you're still
the Dark Dragon Balls,
yeah.
bro. Like,
and you lost by a one-on-one combat? How?
Oh, you didn't get jumped?
No.
I'm gonna go use the restroom right now.
But yeah, I just felt like the power scaling made no sense. I'm not gonna sit there and rehash Tim's points. I think it was just right on the money of like, there's just certain things I'm like, these things are missing. There's a part where they include this dragon. The dragon never comes up again in the story ever again. It's just like, oh well, that was another.
The dragon from the logo.
The dragon was Orin.
Yeah,
Orin from Armageddon.
Yeah.
And so where's Dagon and Tagon?
Who knows, bro?
All right, guys. You know we gotta go on to the next one.
No, I know. So I was gonna say, in closing, I think Tim's initial point made is like, this is, to me, I'm a little conflicted because again, we're getting certain things that were free. That was cool. We're talking about the animalities, right? Like the animalities all look dope. They were free.
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. But to your point, is this worth $50 additional to me? No. And you could, I don't like, all the arguments are irrelevant because if you're saying like, oh, but you're getting a story, and I'm like, yeah, but I didn't like the story. So if the story, if out of the $50, the story made up $30 of it, well, $30 of it I didn't like. So that leaves me with what?
That's a Uber Eats meal, man.
That's a lot of things. That's a whole other game. That's Black Myth Wukong.
You're right. You're right.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, Street Fighter DLC.
Yeah,
3 times. Share it as a gift. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's just one of those things where I'm like, it sucks. I was so disappointed that I'm like, this is yet another thing where I'm like, I guess I'll check back in Mortal Kombat again, Gear 3, because I'm not interested.
No, they're wrapping it up. It's done.
Yeah.
It's done.
I don't think so.
They're gonna do an ultimate edition.
Yeah, but what are you gonna get? What are you getting? What are you getting?
Jade,
That's it?
another character.
That's it? How many characters? 3, 4, 5?
Probably 3.
No, not enough. What 3 characters that you could put that 5 wouldn't make any better? That wouldn't make a lot more sense.
I think they would have probably just give us the characters that they name dropped. So like maybe like I would say probably and I know this one. A lot of people like what? Like, but Jade, Kodo Khan, and probably another guest character, like how they did with Rain, Rambo.
Then it's no longer Mortal Kombat. It's Mortal Kombat, and it's not. You feel me? It's not Mortal Kombat no more. Because at this point, like, count on your fingers how many of these characters take up the roster that you won't get until you like. They're gonna stay locked on this game, which is to me.
And that's why, like I said, bro, like Mortal Kombat, and a lot of people have been saying it ever since. Which one was that? Yeah, ever since actually, X was actually very balanced.
It
I'll give him
was.
that. But 11,
11
even though
was
11
balanced
has some
too.
great guest
Yeah,
characters,
11 was
11
balanced
has some,
too.
bro. Joker, that is the best Joker on the page.
You were still getting a majority of MK cast, and then the
Yes,
last 2 characters or so will be a guest character, and they'd be fire.
but but this one they went too far. Because first of all, bro, I'll say it for again, like yeah, you could have did Omni Man, you could have did Peacemaker, you could have did Homelander, cool. But I am standing on this, like no, bro, T-1000, Ghostface, and Conan, like
Yeah,
you could have
yeah.
you could have
Why?
left that, bro.
Hey,
You
dog.
could have
So
left
don't
that.
be surprised if y'all see James Earl Jones as the final guest character in the.
No, I wouldn't be surprised. To be honest, like I'm serious. Like I wouldn't be surprised. It's one of those things where I'm just like, it's
Like this
just
could have been the greatest Mortal Kombat. You had Jean-Claude Van Damme, the inspiration. So it's
Skin.
yeah,
skin, which is okay. I'm okay with that, right?
Yeah.
yeah. Hmm.
I'm okay with that, man. That's fine, dog. But like everything else, when I'm looking at, it, I'm like, yo, how many of these characters that are like guest characters that that's the trade-off with guest characters. You can only find them in this. They will never come back.
Hmm.
Lord, boy, Lars ain't come back to the Storm series
You don't
since.
got no
Yeah,
reason to. Why I'm gonna come back in that game trash? Why?
yeah. But not even that. It's just like now you're having these games where it's like the matchups don't even make sense. Of like to your point, S rank. It's like I want
Ghostface?
to see the T-800 and the T-1000 fight each other, but I can't because they're in 2 separate games. Freddy Krueger's in MK9, Jason's in MKX.
Yeah, that was
What
very weird to me.
what's the point?
That was very
They're
weird.
gonna either do a Hollywood smackdown where they get crazy budget. You could play as Jean-Claude Van Damme as Universal Soldier along with Dolph Lundgren. You can play as Rocky. Then you can play as Spawn again and T1. It's gonna be an action hero movie fest.
Which is
That's
fine.
the
I'd honestly rather see that from
I don't.
NetherRealm
Yeah,
than
no. I mean, that's
the
what they
MCU virtual
clearly want to
signaling they've been
do.
doing. Yeah, like
That's clearly what they want to do.
out of the 2 red flares that they keep putting into the sky, like let us make this game. I'm like, please make 80s action hero murder fighter
Play as Neo.
yeah, I don't
Play
want you
as
to make
Harrison
this.
Ford, Blade Runner.
Yeah, you
Play,
giving Shang Tsung Wolverine claws and Havoc the Infinity Stones and Sector the Iron Man armor.
guys,
I don't
guys,
want you to make
guys.
a Marvel
If you
fighting
look at
game.
Havoc's headpiece, look at Havoc's headpiece.
I know. I see it.
Galactus.
It's still subtle. It's because there was a couple parts where they could have gone copy and paste and they didn't. Thank God. But I'm
The
like,
fact that
it's just
the,
this. But the flares are there. You're like, hey, just this day. It's like the fans are like, no.
like
Mortal Kombat vs. DC was horrible. Injustice, good gameplay, good story. Those super moves were garbage. They can only get creative when somebody dies. Oh, they gotta stay alive. Oh, you know what I'm saying? Like it's just no. I don't want to see NetherRealm do Spider-Man. I'm cool. It's fine. But we can move on. I was disappointed. I really was. I was just like, I have no reason to go pick this up right now.
I knew it was gonna be bad. I knew it.
Yeah.
I knew it. Once I saw it was Havoc, I was like, nah, this doesn't make any sense. This Havoc should have been on this time in the main game.
I can see what you're saying. I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You
but
know what
then
I'm saying?
according to Liu Kang, oh yeah, but I neutralized him, so that's why your version is more subtle. I was like, well, bro, you didn't know that you created a multiverse, so
Mm-hmm. And clearly, for barring MCU events, it's a canon event. Havoc will always, at some point, turn to this guy. That would have been fine.
yeah.
I saw somebody sum it up so eloquently that like we basically got a season of invasions with cutscenes. I was like,
That's basically what it was, bro. That's basically what it was.
Man.
That is exactly what it
We got an
was.
invasion, a season of invasions with cutscenes. I'm like, and the reptile one was still the better one. Invasion of the Body Snatchers, that would have been dope. But the Zeterians start impersonating people and murdering everyone. I'm like, that would have been. But hey,
Which also would have been like the Super Scroll.
sure. Again, there's still MCU virtual signaling, but I still like that idea. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's one of the things like I prefer
it's
that.
like it's like they go nowhere with it. Like, you know, I'm done, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's
The
go.
one thing I will say I did like Havoc's torture room. I thought that was dope to give them a little bit of like a pat on the back. I'm like, that was a pretty cool concept where it's like he designed rooms where you can't leave until somebody dies. Like, okay, like this concept. Of course, it never comes up again. Nobody of consequence dies, but hey, you know, like give them that. But moving the topic along, you know, during this release of Chaos Reigns, we also had, you know, the Japanese developers that, you know, decided they wanted to throw their hat in the ring. And I guess they're just trying to get MK out of here because Terry Bogard released that same day. And, you know, there's not much to say about him because we had talked about him to a lengthy degree during the preview and the hands-on. He looks dope. He's a great guest character. It's amazing that he's going to be in Street Fighter 6. And
Speaking of guest characters, you know, it was announced today that, you know, the Street Fighter 6 version of Ken and Chun-Li are going to be guest characters for City of the Wolves.
yeah, which is basically like Capcom vs. SNK 3 is being announced any day now. 2025 Summer Games Fest. Capcom and SNK present. And we're like,
Who's doing it though? That's my thing. I don't want it to be SNK.
Well, if it's Capcom versus SNK, it's going to be Capcom.
Yeah, it should be Capcom.
Because the SNK ain't got the animations, bro. I'm not playing. You're like, I'm sorry, dog.
No, that's fair.
Terry's version, Terry and Street Fighter 6.
Yeah, it looks amazing. But like I said, we covered him in depth, so we don't have to really go into.
We don't. But like, I'm like, yo, this is a real. Like, if you're a fighting game person, you can't complain too much. I understand online has its own caveats and the ranking system, but this is a good problem, right? They're giving exposure to things that they have to fix that they weren't ready for because they never had a good rollback code. Now they do. So now they learn new problems that they have. Oh man, this cheating thing is serious. What do we do? And so now you have new problems. So that's good that this exposure is happening. You know, that's my side note. That's good that this is happening because now you're learning new things, right? You're learning that maybe we shouldn't nerf certain characters because people are complaining. It's certain people that are not playing correctly that are complaining. And
right.
so, you know, and then that's my thing, man. But yeah, with this SNK Street Fighter. Stomping the Japanese developers. Capcom is on a roll right now, man.
They on fire, bro.
Fire.
Yeah.
Like, you know, they got that. They dropping for the fam with they dropping for the fam. Can you hear that beat? That's really that's what I'm looking at right now. As soon as I saw Terry and Bison, these are the best versions anybody's ever seen, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know it's a banger when your only complaint about Bison is the fact that he's back in the game. Not that he doesn't play well, not that he doesn't look dope. It's just I'm mad he's here.
Yeah. But man, that Sakurai, oh man.
Yeah, this could have been someone else. However, you know,
Speaking of somebody else.
Speaking of someone else, I already got.
Should we do it? Should we do it?
I already got the clip queued up. No, yeah, we doing it. I already got the clip queued up of like.
We all got nothing else to say.
Quick, no,
on the streets.
No, we got to get to the
SNKs?
No. Well, this time we got to get to the real.
Let's get to it.
Problematic reveal. Just a quick little clip. I know it's in Japanese, but we already know what's happening. Here's the story of how I saved you from being dead.
All right, see that? He just did a genjutsu. So that's why Kazuya didn't see what he needed to see.
Sure. Yeah, sure. He did a genjutsu, and human beings can survive lava now. So
I mean, a Mishima can survive.
a Mishima
Lava.
with the devil gene can survive lava.
Not technically, because remember that's how Kazuya died.
True. I take it back.
So it's like, honestly, bro. Like, I mean, I was trying to have faith that this was gonna be a decent resurrection story, but when I saw that, bro, like, I feel like a brain cell just snapped. I was like, bro, this was the best writing. Like, who wrote this? Please, like, no. I'm sorry, like, no. That was just
Okay.
very disappointing,
Okay.
bro.
So let me
That was
embellish.
very no. There's nothing
No, there
that could
isn't.
forgive that.
There
Like,
isn't.
yes, once again, it's another Bison situation. This is the best we've ever seen the character because we saw the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yes. But once again, bro, you did not have to involve him in the story, bro. It could have just been like, hey, he's a legacy character. We got a new fighting engine that we just want to see what if. Have a good ball with him, but he's not in the story because he is dead. But no, you had to make this big, once again, Raven. Heihachi Mishima is dead, but clearly you did not see somebody drag him out of a volcano while Kazuya was fighting Akuma.
Yeah.
Because I doubt, in the midst of all that chaos with all these beams and all this stuff going on, that you stayed. That they stayed in the volcano till all that was over. Because that would have been the most unrealistic place to be, right? Because people who could do a punch and it cause an earthquake, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's what happens when you kill a character off so effectively that the way to revive them has to make no sense. You've done it.
Okay.
You killed them too well.
Okay. Like
Bro,
my
you
thing was
just
like they
no,
couldn't have
man.
Jun save him. They couldn't have Jack 5 save him. And then we ask questions later. They couldn't
No.
have
All
you
that would
feel
have
me?
made all
Like
that would have made sense. That would have made
they
sense.
couldn't have his body did hit lava, but somebody took it out before, and then before it fully got consumed in the because regardless of it being lava, it still takes time to burn. It's not like it's an acid bath from Mortal Kombat.
No, true, and I mean, and
So
if we're being like again, we're not physics expert, but I've seen enough stories about volcanoes. You usually burn to a crisp before you even actually hit the lava. So the fact that he was still falling means his body was made of tougher stuff than normal. Like I'm with you on that. I'm like he probably could have hit the lava and still survived because
and it's
Tekken.
like and then uh like there's so many things that could have made if anything Angel should have shaved because that makes sense, an Angel did it, so okay.
And then the thing about it is, bro, like even when they were talking about these monks, you could tell they're still baiting you. Like, oh yeah, there were two clans. I was like, okay, so the Mishima and Kazuya's mother's clan. No, I was like, so who's the other clan then? It's like they're baiting you, and it's like that, bro. There was so much stuff in Tekken
Okay,
7 that could have really fixed this
but
story,
but
and y'all are just throwing it away.
yeah, it is things in Tekken 7. Here's what I'm hoping that they did. Who do? If you pay attention to the garment, it's reminiscent of Kenpachi, right?
Jinpachi.
Jinpachi.
Jinpachi, I'm sorry, I could Kenpachi. Jinpachi. It's reminiscent of Jinpachi. The beads, the stature.
Mm-hmm.
So okay, Mishima's and the God Fist came from China. That's why Fang Wei is even in the story to begin with, because his goal when you play his arcade story is to find the original text of the original to challenge the Mishimas to prove that the style belongs here, and this is the superior version. So the
Mm-hmm.
Mishimas did something to it. So that clan is probably tied to Jinpachi. And if it is, hopefully they do a better job at explaining the story. Because, I mean, like, it made me ask the question, okay, if you guys are like Bison, Heihachi, Geese Howard, uh, uh, and then the fact that Heihachi is played by the same voice actor in Japanese as Bison is hilarious to me, dog.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're doing this with the story, like in Mortal Kombat, so now you have your audience that's divided into two because there's a part that actually gets the games for the story, and there's a group of people that actually get the games for the confiding.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't have a fighting game with most of the people like the character because of their story.
Yeah.
So you can't really you can't you I, like I had a hard time saying, well, they're just not going to care about the story anymore. No, no, you better care about the story. It's just as important as the aesthetics.
I don't think it is. I think, I guess,
It
to,
is,
to
and
what
it's
Tim
like,
said, I think it's one of those things where it's like, again, I use June. June, for all we know, based at least on how the story is presented to us, she's still dead. We only see her in
which
like
is ludicrous.
in like visions, right? Of like no one else is never confirmed that no one other than Kazuya and Jin see her. So I'm like, as far as I know, she's still dead, but she's a playable character. So I'm like,
Why
just
make that?
remove them. They're just legacy characters. They don't have to be in the story.
They don't have to be in the story. You're right. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm
Mm.
saying going forward, it does, either you're going to make story matter or it's not. And if you do that, you will lose a portion of your audience. I came to like Tekken because of this. That's what I'm saying. It's like at this point now, can you really separate Mortal Kombat from its story?
Well, no, because look what they've
You
done.
get what I'm saying? So now,
Because, for example, like even with this story DLC, now we're getting the backstory of Lydia, which was, briefly discussed in Tekken 7. But then, once again, you made her a DLC character, given her, a DLC story where, her connection to Heihachi, who killed her father. But it's just like, I could tell, bro, I just don't foresee this story
no,
going
but she
nowhere.
she was she was talking she was talking to Heihachi like it was nothing.
Yes.
And I'm like,
It's like,
dog,
why are you not
what?
looking at this man like Kazuya, how Kazuya was on that volcano?
And
It's like,
Yeah.
Kazuya was
bro,
a
like,
little too relaxed. I'm like, yo, bro, you just spent years. You're back. Mm. And I said, wait, hold up. Yo, fam, you fought Akuma, right? And that should have made you even more furious fighting Akuma after you beat your dad. Because now you realize your mom put a hit on you too?
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? Like, Kazuya should be. I'm not saying he has to be like unstable, but that should be a breaking point to where he does lose it a little bit. You know what I'm saying? At least for me.
But we also don't know where Kazuya is in the story, right? Because the thing with the ending of the original, like, it's so ambiguous. Of like, does he find peace when he sees June? Now that he no longer has a double gene, like, where is Kazuya at in his like mental,
Okay.
emotional
And
place?
and 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 the fact that I saw like Heihachi just having a conversation with Lydia, like it was just and maybe Heihachi didn't kill. I didn't kill your father. If that's the moment, yeah, nah, bro.
Maybe.
That's what it's looking like. She took off her glasses, like Heihachi, Lydia.
and
I
we,
want.
and then we still
Mm.
haven't explained this new kid.
What
Oh
new kid?
yeah. Well, Reina. Well,
Oh,
but
Reina.
the thing I want to ask you guys: do you guys
Oh
think? I don't know if
man.
you guys noticed, but there's a couple of times in Hayachi's like gameplay trailer where like his body turns red, and you see like markings on his body, like temporarily, and then it
That's
disappears.
the mark from when Kazuya did that.
Punched him. Yeah.
Yeah.
It literally has the he literally turned into evil Ryu
Oh my
with the
Yeah,
hole in his
basically.
chest. But listen. Also, listen. Back, guys, y'all don't try to catch what I'm saying. I think they've reached a point of no return to where they either have to find a balance. They have to find a balance now because you can't neglect the story as much as they want to anymore. They just can't. They have to put because if they
Well,
do, they could okay. Let's just do it like Virtual Fighter. Let's just boom, people just fight.
which
Um,
works, which works. Now, to expand on your point, Jory, it's like, well, Street Fighter basically just brought all the villains back after Bison. Is like, well, Gil is technically in some Orochimaru type of state,
he's coming. He's
whatever.
coming back though. He's
Yeah, but
guaranteed
then
coming back.
Sagat is on this path of redemption. Bison is back in some new body, whatever consciousness, whatever.
Redemption Bison.
Seth is still out
No,
there.
it's Redemption Bison. The fact he
Seth is still out
absorbed,
there.
yeah, Seth, okay. It's Redemption
And then,
Bison, guys. I'm telling you,
yeah, and it's just like, bro, like it's like you
or he's
reneged on
neutral.
two. You just reneged on two major fronts, and that's why I said in the group chat, like, bro, you might as well just bring Geese Howard back
Mhm.
and just make it a
No, he's
trifecta,
coming
bro.
back. He's coming back. He's coming back because it's like
You
okay,
might
but
as
I mean,
well, bro.
that's my thing. It's like, can now what are they gonna do? They're gonna just like forget it. Y'all not getting a story. Y'all just gonna have people that fight because we can't tell a
No,
story.
At
no.
this,
I think we'll still get a story. I think it's gonna go back, which I think is to your point, S rank. It's a bad idea, but I think we're gonna go back to that like Street Fighter ambivalence, where you're not quite sure which ending sticks. Like you're not
basically
sure.
arcade.
Yeah, like
Or
arcade style. Like here's a little bit more like story depth for this character, but it doesn't really change the narrative that
yeah,
much anymore because we don't know what to do. We don't know what to do, and it's obvious. We have no longer
And,
like to Tim said in the group chat. There is no consequences. None of this matters. None of this will have a lasting impact. None of it.
and then that's my thing. I'm like, y'all bring back Heihachi, so like that kind of minimizes Reina's appeal now because like that was the whole thing. Like Reina was actually a functional. Hey, this is a good revamp. Maybe they
Yep.
can do it. Maybe we can get a version. What if we do get a version of a China cop, but he fights like his skin? He is basically Chris Tucker inspired. He fights like Jackie Chan. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just saying, I'm just throwing stuff out there. Like, oh, yo, this could work. We could probably get characters that, yo, this is the new gen now. You know? And I'm like, yo, man, okay, man, this is gonna because Reina's design,
A1.
oh, A1.
She's fun to
And
play.
she got fun to play personality hit. And
Mm-hmm.
she's like, yo, we're gonna have her. She's young. Well, she's 18. We're gonna have her for many, many years. She's gonna change. We're gonna get to grow with her. And then so now
But I think this speaks to a problem that I said of like it's unfortunate that NetherRealm Studios has kind of fallen to this part when it comes to writing because, like I said, Tekken is afraid they're afraid to be first. Street Fighter don't know what they're doing, so like I think when it comes to like relinquishing to the next generation, I think if say like the Combat Kids had worked right, if they were written a little bit better, more likable, right, then
there were
maybe these other
two.
companies feel a little bit more comfortable. Like, well, yeah, maybe we can put Sean Yang Young in the base roster. Maybe we can put Reina. I don't even know who else would be. I mean, Tekken has a
yeah.
little. Tekken, they have a little more of an uphill battle when it comes to the next generation. But the whole thing of like relinquishing the control from the same figureheads becomes a little bit easier when you start to see it work. Of
But
like it's,
Warang, but they do have characters that work. Warang is after Beck.
but you can't really use Horang because he's more so like Jin's
But
rival.
but but it's still look at Reina. It worked. You get what
No,
I'm
but I'm saying,
saying?
but it was just Reina. Is what I'm saying. It's like a lot of the other characters, like that cyborg girl they have. I hate
Oh
her
no, but people love her. I
No,
hate
to
her.
because
be
they
honest,
I absolutely
the
they're
hate her.
only
weirdos.
the only characters that are like technically super old are the ones from Tekken 2.
Mm-hmm.
Because you remember after Tekken 2, that's when they had the time skip.
Yeah,
So it's basically Kazuya, his adopted brother, Paul,
law,
I guess June counts,
mm.
Law. You can't count Jack because they just make a new version every game.
Which is fine.
Um, and the original king died and they brought in a new one under the table. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And Heihachi, like yeah, and then
Don't forget
every
the Armored King story. You killed my twin
Yeah,
brother.
so basically everybody else is kind of still fairly young when you really look at it, especially when you read their bios. They're still fairly young, and Yoshimitsu don't really count.
Yeah.
So
But what I'm saying, I guess, like what I'm saying, so we don't like stagnate the topic. It's just I feel like at a certain point, it's like that's why I feel like these stories aren't going anywhere because they are afraid to push it forward. Like, you know what helps make Sean likable in Street Fighter? When you put him in the game. Like
And that's like
what
what's
makes like we're gonna make Luke the figurehead. Why Luke? We don't know who Luke is.
yeah, nobody care. Like, and then what? Like we, and then I'm like, yo, he looks just like Nero. Like, I'm
Mm,
like, yo, is this Nero in Street Fighter translating the Street Fighter? Because it's like, yo, his style is not interesting. Like,
yeah,
if anything, Cody should have fought like that. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? But
But just anything to like push it forward. It's like you said, it's like everyone liked Reina. I was a little bit nervous about like I don't want to go back into the Devil Gene storyline again. To be fair, but I'm like I like this character. I like Italian John Wick. Like I like these
French.
characters.
no, he's French, French,
Oh, he is
French,
French. Okay.
French.
I like
Eh,
Ultra Instinct Coffee Lady. Like I like these characters. Keep pushing it
yeah,
forward.
and she's so annoying. Now she has to be in the next Tekken.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? She didn't end up like a Lucky Chloe. You feel me? Now that was, oh my gosh. And they did my boy Eddie Green in that storyline. But anyway, like no, but like honestly, I'm not understanding what's happening here because to me, I understand what you're saying, Ant, when it says like but they can't do that either because that's also not good.
To what? Put
Because
new
to have
protagonists?
to have the have no to have the endless circle of
the
people want
arcade
closure.
format.
Yeah, people like keep the arcade stories as arcade, but no. I want a storyline that makes sense. That's what. And now people are more aware, and there's more pressure because we're not getting. Look at the media out there now. Everything is funneling in. Like, yo, hey, I heard from my cousin for 15 years that Tekken story is amazing. Let me play Tekken. I heard from.
But
I heard
I
from.
guess the thing is like, there's just there's almost like too much trust that the story is going to be good, and that's where I feel a bit more hesitant. Of like, we want a good story. I'm like, but we haven't gotten good stories. So what to say that like they got to rely on a good story? It's like, well, what is a good story because they haven't given it to us? Tekken 8 story was okay. It wasn't bad. Like it walked that line of like progress and
The
like
thing is,
anime
to me,
well
Tekken 8
enough.
story is like a first draft. Like, this is not the draft you give to people. You rewrite it again. Don't let Jin do everything.
No, yeah, but that's what I'm.
You know what I'm
But
saying?
that's what I'm saying. It's like you put a little bit using Chaos Reigns as an example. There was a time where Mortal Kombat storytelling was compelling, where it's like maybe we turn a little bit more of a blind eye to getting 3 new Mortal Kombat characters because the story was so engaging.
I mean, are we going to
Versus
talk about?
now, where it's like I don't know if I want to see how this plays out.
Well, can we talk about them diminishing in writers?
No, yeah, but and it goes back to my overall point, right? Of like, I think it's one of those things where it's like you're hoping and you're hinging on the quality of 3-4 years ago still being there, and there's more and more evidence showing that it's not. So I'm like,
So
do
what
you
do you?
really want to rely on when there's only one writer in the writer room being
What
like,
do you?
yo,
Yeah,
Mortal Kombat just needs one good story? It's like, bro, it's one person. And
yeah.
he's on his
Oh,
Fast and Furious X time. Like, it's not.
I
The
really
Fast Five
feel
era
like
is
the
over.
writer got on the homie got on the 90 shades. The
Yeah.
what was silver
With
the
the grease
quicksilver
back.
shades on with the grease back on and the Hawaiian shirt and like dude with the what's the vest that they put the thermal vest on orange that highlighter orange just like dude we're gonna give
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Do you want to hinge the future of your fighting IP on that guy? That's my question to y'all. You
no
can't.
I'm saying you have no choice now. What are you gonna do? You're gonna get good or what? You're gonna keep it that way. What do you think is going to happen? You think they're going to be like, oh, forget it, flip the table, and nobody's getting the story ever again. We're just going to drop these characters and you can read about it. Or they're going to tighten up because now you have a monster on your hands here. It's gonna grow even big because people are furious.
The thing is, the only reason why I don't think it's going to necessarily be a make or break, at least not right now, is look at Street Fighter V versus Street Fighter 6. Street Fighter's 5 story was horrible. It was horrible. It was one of the worst things I have ever seen committed to screen. Right? But then you get Street Fighter 6, and Street Fighter 6 is setting records just off gameplay. Because, like Tim has said, multiple podcasts, there is no story in the World Tour. It's not a story mode. It's a. I mean, it's a hub. It's cool. It's a different concept, but it's not. The story does not progress in Street Fighter 6, and it is sold 4 million copies.
You find out Shadaloo had an accountant, and that's who the guy is.
Yeah,
and he's the one who framed Ken, and that's it.
Yeah, so
it goes nowhere.
And I'm not saying it's a permanent solution. I think to your point, S Rank, like, yes, you can't in 2035, you just doing World Tour Hub 6 is not going to get it done. I agree with you. But I think the benefit they have right now is that because the fighting game world is in such a healthy competitive space, it's like, if you want story and characters, go over here. But here, we're doing this. If you want just gameplay, go over there. But here, we're doing this. And each of those groups have their own fans. I don't think it's great, right? I think it does speak to the a bigger overall problem in the industry of, like, I think the writing quality has dipped drastically across the board in all genres. But with fighting games, it's like, clearly, y'all writing team is just not there. And I cannot have faith that you will get better.
There's writers out there, like, why is it so hard for you?
Yes.
They don't want to pay them, bro.
Yep.
They don't want to pay them. It's the same. Somebody brought this up about the Arcane Netflix series, like how I believe it's broken up into multiple. Oh, no. I believe it is. Actually, no. Was it something else? But they were basically talking about, like, how it was a particular Netflix show, and they break it up into, like, part 1, part 2, is because they don't want to pay everybody all in bulk.
Right, because you get a separate contract if we get separated into 2 different parts. You don't have to pay them for a season if it's not a season's worth of episodes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's what it is, bro.
That's evil, man.
Like, of course it is. We've come to the part where the industry, they're so money hungry about sales, but they don't want to pay for the talent. They don't.
And they're suffering for it.
Yeah.
Greatly.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I in any other scenario, if we hadn't gotten what we've gotten for the past 7 years in MK, if we didn't get Street Fighter 5 story mode, I would be with you. Yes, let the story dictate the gameplay. But I'm like, if this is where we're going, where we can't have a gender swapped Cyrax and Sector without them being romantically linked to the other characters in their clan, if this is where we're going, where we can't kill off Heihachi and just move on with these other characters that we've introduced to the point that we got to resell you Lydia, I don't want no more story. I'm good.
So what do you think is the future?
Well, Under Night is for my future, and this is my last console era. So anything after this, bro, that's on them.
I think it's gonna take an indie game to shake up the industry, like always. There'll be a AA title, an indie title that will, like, sell like gangbusters with a fresh take on a concept that all the bigger companies are gonna want to replicate, and that's what will start to shake the table again.
But the like, it's almost, they almost fail when they do that, because they're like guessing.
Yeah,
when companies do it, it's like an old person trying to run like a young person. It just doesn't work. You can't do it.
I mean, but that's where they are now, bro. Mm-hmm. That's exactly where they are. I mean, we've had some good nostalgia years, but just like how we grew up, they've aged. Mm-hmm. And some people age well, some people don't.
Yeah. Yeah, and we're starting to see it. We're starting to see more and more which companies are starting to adjust well, right? The Capcoms, Sega's starting to learn a little something here and there.
Sega's doing pretty good, man.
But then you have, like, Konami, which is like, man, what are y'all? This whole Metal Gear re-release is not going to work.
Bro, did y'all see that new Delta trailer?
I haven't watched it yet.
The graphics are good, but it's the original audio. It's the original audio, and it doesn't look like it's in sync. I
Yo,
was like,
hey,
you
hey, I
saw it,
thought I was
Jory,
the only
right?
one, kid. Man,
Bro, no,
the
bro,
first,
that turned me off. I said no, I don't want it.
yo, Snake said, "What is it?" We couldn't find the regular. Oh, dog. Snake was like, "Are you the doctor? Are you Snake? Have you come to kill me? Have you?"
Yeah,
Yeah.
I took Metal Gear Delta off my list, bro.
Dog,
That
yo, once I saw Ocelot and Snake saved whatever his name is, man, the scientist. Are you
Sokolov,
the scientist? Sokolov, have you come to kill me? No.
clunky, bro.
And then the Ocelot thing was like, yeah. I said, okay, man, this is it.
Yeah.
This is what happens when you have. We want to make a Metal Gear Solid game, but we want them to move like the PS2 animations. I said, yo, those animations were not. I said, if y'all not redoing the animations, count it all a loss.
Mm-hmm.
Th- Look at the Soul Reaver game. Like, you buying that remake?
I mean, we're about to get into the state of play right now. And I'm not, but we're about to get into the play right
Cause
now.
dog, I said, yo,
I, I
yo,
think I think it closed it for your topic of the question, Troy. I guess we'll see, right? We'll see what these companies decide to do. I don't think that right now that the fighting game story writing is in a good place, and I don't think it's in their best interest to try to push forward right now. They need to recollect. They need a writers' room. They need
it's not, but
like
the
when they do test and plays
information
for
is on the
games,
web.
they need to taste and a test and play for stories. Like, hey, what would you think if Havoc did X Y Z? No. What do you think if we did this with Lydia? No. Like
But
you
the
need a little
information
more.
is on the web. Like, yeah, they literally have everything question box. Uh, they have literally a genie. Okay, type in. What should Tekken story be? Fan fiction. Oh
But
man, this actually is very good. We'll take this point and and we'll just see. You know, like
I'll say this: when have you seen these studios listen to reason, except for when their backs against the wall? Look how long it took us to get rollback netcode. Fans were screaming for it, begging for it. Ah, we, we don't need that. Hey, your Tekken is unplayable online. Just plug in your router to your console. We need
plug in my router just to the console. All right, you're good luck next season.
right. So that's my thing. I'm like, when have we seen these companies get ahead of the curve? So like that's what I got to say with that. But moving on to State of Play, State of Play was announced. Like I said, y'all in the group chat, when I find myself my little red hat with a Mario logo on top, that's it. I'm a Nintendo fan, bro. It wasn't a bad State of Play, but I'm at this point now where Sony is transforming before our very eyes with every rollout, and I hate it. I hate it.
To play,
Man.
pay to play,
My goodness.
pay to play.
Like, I'm like, you start looking at these things, I'm just like, bro, like, we were talking about in the group chat earlier, I'm like, it's discouraging. It's discouraging. You're like, I want to participate, but you'll keep pricing me out.
Pay to play.
I'm not going to buy. I already wasn't going to buy the Pro. You think I'm going to buy it? If I'm not buying the Pro at $700, you think I'm going to buy the 30th anniversary skin for $1,000?
You have to pay for Concord, which is not your fault.
But we didn't want Concord.
But I wanted you to want Concord.
Yeah,
Gentlemen, this is where we at.
No, I know, but that's what I'm saying. It's like one of those things where I'm like, okay, cool. Was it the worst State of the Play in the world? No, it wasn't. Right? We got some cool reveals.
No, but it's like those aren't Sony exclusive games, so it kind of isn't a good State of Play, bro.
No, because the thing is, I think the thing that they were getting the most critiqued on, right, is like, I think it is fair to differentiate a Sony showcase and a state of play.
Yes.
A state of play is almost like a monthly blog, if you will.
Okay.
Right? It's not
I
necessarily.
like that. I'll take
Yeah,
that.
it's not. It's not. The jet's not taking out the runway. We're not. Letting the fireworks off. It's like, hey, here's what we've been up to lately. So you don't gotta bring out the fanfare necessarily. But I'm just like, man, like, yeah, it's cool. I'm glad that you guys didn't forget about Legacy of Kain. That always was an IP that stood out to me when I was a kid. But I'm like, you did a remaster with no touch up to the controls? It's the same 1998 gameplay?
This is what you want, right?
Ay.
No, not me.
Not me.
Not me. Because when they were doing the side by side, let's fade the next panel.
And the animation was moving the exact same way. Because at least when they did the Tomb Raider remasters, it's like they gave you modern controls and classic controls. Where it's like, if you wanted them janky controls from PlayStation, for nostalgia's sake, have at it. If you want a targeting system that makes sense for these classic Tomb Raider games, here you go. And I'm like, okay, I didn't buy it right away, but I plan to buy it because I'm like, I would love to explore those games with controls that don't want to make me throw my controller. Simple. It's just like, there's always these simple things where I'm just like, I would love to see Legacy of Kain come back, but I'm not buying that. And I'm not buying it for $30. Just to again, signal I want more Legacy of Kain. Like, no, it's the same gameplay. And then it's just like, you end it with the Ghost of Yotai thing where it's like, okay, finally we find out what Sucker Punch is up to. And it's just like, wouldn't this have made more sense to be rolling out with your PS5 Pro? All we know is that we're getting it sometime in 2025. Meanwhile, again, Sucker Punch has been crickets since 2020. So it's like you've had the time frame between games to have greenlit a release date, I would imagine. And now you're telling me we're getting it sometime in 2025. I'm sure we're getting it before Grand Theft Auto 6. But when?
You have to get it before Grand Theft Auto 6.
No, I know, but I'm saying, but when? When? The Pro drops in 2 months. You have nothing in your fall schedule that
and nobody can get the Pro. To be honest,
right?
So that's another thing, and you don't care if actual people get the Pro.
As long as the unit gets moved, as long as somebody bought it.
That's once a company tells you that, how do you feel?
To be honest, bro, and this is what I realized when the PS4 Pro dropped. You could tell it's just for enhancement bragging rights. Because even when they do the showcase for the Pro, they talk about all they do is showcase old games. Like, oh yes, the exposure rate on this, you get extra frames per second on that. It's just always just for bragging rights, and not really truly anything on a powerhouse scaled. Because all right, yes, now you've given me faith that yes, this console cycle is going to last a little bit longer. Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just, overall, I gave the presentation a good 7 out of 6, 7 out of 10.
You better than me.
The biggest high for me was Astrobot, and of course, the Astrobot DLC announcement, and of course, the Ghost of Yote. They had some good stuff in between, like that Hell is Us game, even that little, I would say, grotesque, monstrous world where you're like a candle, like that art style. That art style is beautiful, bro.
It looked like a movie. It was cool.
A fumble for me was Horizon. It's like, bro, this triple down on Horizon is just very. Well, first of all, to go back to Joy's point, it's like, bro, these remasters, bro, we kind of really need to cool it now, bro. It's too much. It's really too much, because you mean to tell me that you're so hyped about a 7-year-old game that you said oh yeah, this is definitely a good contender for the PS5 Pro. It's like, bro, it's the same game that we've already beaten.
Yeah.
It's the same game that
not only have you already beaten, you've already released a sequel with better gameplay.
Yes, and it's like, why would I Why would I? Oh, but then there's some updated controls. There's some updated visuals. It's like, bro, you mean tell me you about to put more moss on this statue that has
Mm-hmm.
no importance to the game? Oh, but then look at the texture and his effect, and that's why I kind of feel like, bro, we've entered this realm where it's just more about graphic fidelity over substance. Like, or
Mm-hmm.
they view that as substance,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like, you know, it's just like once again, bro. It's just like we're almost towards the end of the year. I only expect probably maybe two more, and then it's the Game of the Year awards, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, well, bro, like most of Sony studios is like, bro, most of your studios are still in this weird limbo, bro. It's like San Diego only does God of War, then they just go into hibernation. Naughty Dog has been hibernation for since the beginning of the PS5.
No, they make TV shows now, Tim. That's what they do.
I mean,
That's the other thing.
I'm very happy for Sucker Punch, man. I'm very, very happy. Even like I get a lot of people was very concerned about why didn't you just bring Jin back, but then when they really broke down the story, I was like, it actually does kind of make sense. What could you really do with him? Like he's basically, whatever ending that you chose, it was the same ultimatum. He is now a fugitive to the end of his days. He's lost all honor. There's no redemption, especially how that old samurai code is. There's no returning. The only redemption for him is death. So,
Mm-hmm.
and then you found out that, they kind of given subtle hints that the ghost has now become a mantle, like basically a mantle for vigilantes.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, you're able to walk both worlds because
You're Japanese Batman.
because you're basically they've come to realize that the samurai order and code has too many plot holes. Like you're allowing for corruption to still exist to a certain extent, and you're also become very political. But then here you have somebody who grew up in your way, but then also mixed and matched with the realm of the assassin and got saved your whole island from an invasion.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's 300 years later, and they're actually in the Sinnoh region. So when I looked up the
Mm.
history, I was like, "Oh, that's the Sinnoh region." And from what they say from that history, that era of history, it was a very lawless. So they're kind of giving you like almost like a Red Dead type of vibe. Like, no, bro, there's a lot of crime that goes around this
Mm-hmm.
mountain. And
Mm-hmm.
then, of course, especially like, the momentum of feudal Japan and media. And I would say this on Blue Eyed Samurai, like, how are women treated in this world? Especially women who are warriors. And you
Mm-hmm.
could tell, like, since this is a lawless area, like, you have this woman, with dual swords, beating up men. That causes problem. There's a lot of ego going around. And yes, they want her dead. And it was it and and then I'll give this for example. Sucker Punch does great with women protagonists, bro. They
Yeah.
do. Like I tell people all the time, just like how you said Uncharted Lost Legacy was a fun DLC, Infamous First Light, that was a very fun DLC. Like they made her character better than the dude.
Mm.
It's like, so I have a lot of faith in them, and I'm very happy. I'm very happy that they're back. I'm happy that they have something.
I'm glad we're getting a game. My whole thing was like, do you feel like the timing works? That's my whole thing.
I
Eh,
don't.
it's whatever. It's
It's
whatever.
not whatever.
No, no, it
It's
does.
not
No,
whatever.
it is, man. Because first of all, and this is something one of my boys has taught me. Like especially in terms of media. Yes, there's a lot of heat of it right now. Yes, but then he's like, Tim, what I've always tell people, bro. But once that success hits, everything is just a race. It's like an automatic refresh of your computer. Next, thing you know, those same people who were saying all that, they're right here. Now, yes, you're gonna have the diehard people who just don't like it, period. But then my thing about it is, Sucker Punch has proven that they are quality, and that's what you're going to get. You're going to get that level of quality. Now, yes, there's plenty other counter arguments because of Star Wars Outlaws and other things. But then what we're seeing with that particular company is they are on a decline as a whole.
True.
It's that, and it's that it's everywhere in the medium that I can't escape from. You know what I'm saying? So like if
I don't
I
care.
n-
I don't
no,
care.
you don't.
Yeah.
You don't.
Yeah.
And you saying that now heighten wait, you don't let me hear your reasons. I just don't care. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
because I'm a buy it and
All right.
I'm just
So
gonna enjoy
when the
it.
coalition, yeah, no. So when now for them, when the coalition comes, they knock on your door. Yeah, we heard about what you said on your knees.
No.
Silence, so you feel me? Because no, that's how extreme it's gonna be. And for me, at certain points, people like that reaction gets me irky because I'm like, yo, like, dog, don't you see that this is going to? It's not even about success because what made the character successful is the heart of it, not the finances, not it trying to be. Now I understand Sucker Punch stands on its own. I never looked at Sucker Punch as someone who is trying to be. They
Compliant.
just want to tell a good
Yeah.
story.
Yeah. They
Yeah,
want to do
And
it.
that's
It's
you
but
know what I'm
that's where
saying?
my faith
But
is. That's a,
which is good. They're still gonna do that, but it's still going to over. It's just like it's raining outside. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, it's not enough now today because now every other place that I'm looking to, Lord of the Rings, Star Wars,
what's wrong with Lord of the
He-Man,
Rings?
the one on Prime.
What's wrong with that?
Oh, it's not good, bro. It's
I
trash, bro.
enjoy it. I enjoy it.
I haven't watched it, so I have no
Like,
take
no,
on it
but
Yeah,
yet.
first of all,
it's
like with Lord of the Rings, bro, it's always been a slow burn and it's always hit or miss for people. It's just to the point, bro. Everybody has different tastes. Now, my focus about it is, and yes, and I get it. Quality meters are different from certain people. Because there's certain games that that you guys played that I just never can't do. Just like how Ant, he got into survival horror the other day, and he's just like, bro, how can y'all do this? And it's just like, bro, some people are just wired differently, bro. Now, yes, I do feel like, there's a certain standard of quality that needs to be backed up. Like, for example, and I'll go into depth about this, Star Wars Outlaws should have never happened. It should have never happened, bro, because there's too much lore elements for Star Wars for y'all to fumble that hard. And for it to be the first game with y'all using the Star Wars license, that is not good. Because first of all, like, yes, let's get it. You got this girl who is literally like 5 feet, whatever. Like, and this is the combat. That's where it gets me, bro. How are you punching stormtroopers, bro, with your bare hands?
For Tim,
Like,
that's
where's
why it's a potential problem, bro.
no,
That's
no,
the
because
issue right
you can't
there.
give that type of stuff like this, and I would say this absolute power. Because first of all, like even in the midst of all this chaos, we've still seen how some of those scenarios have a very powerful narrative and work. Now, yes,
Yeah,
it's one every once in a while, or two to three, but like I said, bro, I have faith in it. I have faith in it,
nah,
and then like how
but
you said,
it's the
fifth,
thing.
2025. You don't know when all of this stuff could have been passed over by then.
But I feel
I
like
don't
that's
think
the
so.
same thing. That's like having because for me, there's certain realms that are like constants.
Uh,
Football, football's a constant, right?
Hmm.
If I inject a female player into the game, you yourself would be like, yo, it's not fair. That's what this is because it's fantasy, because the fact that you're relying on people having a variety is true, but it's also not. That's why certain things repetition works. That's why certain phrases we use are true, right? Certain stereotypes have a bit of truth in it. That's
Hmm.
why it wouldn't be as powerful if people don't say it, right? Like we have an apprehensiveness towards certain companies, and we believe in our mind that these companies don't have any morals, they don't care about you. Prove it. Well, we've seen it time and time again after how their practices, how
Hmm.
they look at Sony, right? Look at how we're talking about Sony, and this doesn't change to the art form of a thing. If I make a product, they ask you, who is this product for? You have to give a precise answer before I ask you for a certain amount of money.
people.
And if I do this, people. It's not, no, but it's a little bit what type of people,
But
Mhm.
not
but
just
you
any
but then you
kind.
don't know the real spectrums of what this game's audience truly is. You can't really
which
go by
is
that.
which is
You
true.
don't,
But the thing is, though, and
but you do.
this is why the thing I feel like it's a very tricky rope to walk is because what's happening, and to your point, Tim, is like what's happening is you're getting good writing as the exception, not the standard, right? And it's hurting that storytelling medium because for every arcane, for every blue eyed samurai, there's Star Wars Acolyte, there's Star Wars Outlaws,
Hmm.
there's the writing for the MK1 characters, where it's like it's not true, right? This whole thing of like they're a girl boss, they're better than men in every way. None of that narrative is not true, but it gives more credence to it when it's not backed up by good writing. When the main character of Outlaws is cold cocking stormtroopers with her bare hands at 5'6", and the whole reason is well because she can. When Mary
And
Jane is speeding away like Akira on a motorcycle while symbiotes chase her down, well, it's Mary Jane. It's like
and it's all
that's not a
purpose gun,
yeah,
like
that's
you
not a
feel me?
But
good
that's
Like,
reason.
Hollywood, bro.
and it's not a
That's
That's
Hollywood.
not good.
nah,
No.
bro.
I'm not
And then the
saying that.
thing
I'm not
is,
saying that that's something that I accept. But then, like I said, bro, like, I do my research as a gamer.
Hmm.
Because for one, you taught me that many years ago.
Hmm.
And look how much money you've saved me since then. And it's the simple fact is like I as a gamer, as a person who's investing in this product, I do my research. I make sure like, yes, does this align with me? Because first of all, yes, I'm investing $70 into you.
Hmm.
70 plus dollars into you.
Hmm.
And that's my decision going forward right there because it's like, yes, no matter what is really going on in the industry, bro, that responsibility is still goes back to us. What aligns with you? What aligns with,
Yeah.
and if it's not aligning with you, just like how Mighty Keith did a post earlier today, and a ex Sony executive reply, he's like, bro, if it's not for you, just don't buy it. And it's
Mm.
as simple as that. And it's not even say like in a very snarky way, but it's the overall truth. Just like how you said, a constant.
you're
If
right,
it's not
you're
for
right,
you, don't buy
you're
it.
right. And now when it's a million people, you scratch your head.
Because the thing is
Right? Now when
the
it's a
other
million people not buying your
yeah, because like
product, you
the
scratch your head.
extreme version of this, and
So
I'm not
that
saying it's
that
gonna
word
get there.
works.
Yeah,
Hmm.
it's the extreme version of this is yes, I can turn my purchasing dollars elsewhere, but when I look elsewhere, I see this what seems to be the same thing over and over. All we've had is for since last October to now, it has been the year of the girl boss.
And
Sometimes working, but most times
But
not.
then we've
So
and my
even
also,
though
thing
but then
is,
we've also seen the endless shoveling of the remasters. Now, look at it's the same thing. It's very annoying, first of all. You're very annoying,
mm-hmm,
just like how you pointed
mm-hmm,
out. Sometimes it's a good job, and sometimes it's just a very lazy reskin. But then at the end of the day, is yes, they're still selling because obviously they're still doing it because they're selling a good amount of copies. Because with certain
mm-hmm.
people, when they're introduced into these eras, it works for them. Well, I never played this game before. Now I have the chance at the highest resolution possible. But then when somebody like me will like, bro, I already beat the PS3 version of that. I don't care. But then I don't have to like say fully shut it down, shut it down. I can just move on.
Yeah, that's right. I'm gonna let you go, but I think it's just one of those things where it's like because of the climate that we're in, where a lot of the presentations of this have been admittedly lazy, right? I'm like, I think again, using if we were to compare Blue Eye Samurai to Star Wars Acolyte, we're looking at something where it's like, here's good writing,
Yes.
right? Here's something that acknowledges that she's a woman in a man's world, and this is how she maneuvers in that world as a killer
and that's the difficulty.
and but it's done well versus Acolyte where nonsense happens, Outlaws where like you're you're going from here's how this person maneuvers in this world versus she just can, and that's where it gets
And then
tricky.
and
That's
then
how
okay,
you go. Go ahead.
it's that, and it's like, okay, it's not Samus Aran's writing. People like Samus, okay, and it's that property. And I used that analogy earlier, Tim. Oh, not because I'm like going at you, but like that's how the person outside feels. You know what I'm saying? Like, because now everything's red to them. They tried to use logic, and now it's just, yo, but I see this here again. I see this here again. I see this here. Star Wars gave us years. They started off with Rey. So this is years and years of people's patience running thin. So now when somebody says like, yo, man, I kind of don't care. I'm like, but dog, don't you see what's happening?
No, I said
It's not,
when I.
you
Oh, let
know?
me rephrase. When I said I don't care, what I meant was like, and it goes back to what I meant about it is on you as a person of what you want to invest in as well. Yes, this world is going to always have its issues. It's going to have its waves. It's going to have its seasons. But then ultimately, you know, people like, one of the Bob Marley's sons has said it like, people are going to do what they want. That's what makes the world go around. It's like you're going to have some people who are going to contribute to this, and it's going to probably be the best thing to them. That is good for them. To certain people, hey, it's not my cup of tea. And I use that phrase as a very respectful, grounded level phrase. It's not my cup of tea, and I don't like this. And that is okay. That is just okay. Now, I do feel like, yes, on an industry scale, their decisions are going to be accumulation of both. And they're going to make a projection from that to see, all right, where do we want to go with this? Because first of all, like like I said earlier today, bro, I've made it up in my mind. This is my last console generation because, especially being a PlayStation fanboy, and yeah, I'll say fanboy, I'll say loyalist, I would say a consumer since the beginning, bro. It was the PlayStation and the Super Nintendo side by side. But it's come to the point where it's like, bro, I don't like these Apple level antics. I don't. And especially where I am now, especially as an adult, I cannot afford you, bro. So I'm going to enjoy my last few collections, and I'm just going to ride it out. It's going to be it's going to be the best Blu-ray player in the house. And that's just simply, that's just simply what it is,
yeah,
bro. Like,
that's
But y'all,
fine.
y'all see where I was coming from,
yeah.
right?
No,
No,
I
I
get
know.
it.
Because now,
Yes.
because you're gonna get these incels or whatever to give extreme reactions because now it's like, yo, I can't have any, I can't even enjoy it here. That's what I was trying to say. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
it starts
And
to
it was,
infiltrate places that it doesn't make
and
sense.
it's like if I go to buy toilet paper and the cover says you can't wipe better than me, like, dog, what does this have to do with people? You know what I'm saying? It's oversaturated, and this saturation, and not like your Marvel films, like your Marvel film. Every area of entertainment is being encroached by a consistent, and it's a consistent theme. Now, there's companies like Sucker Punch who don't pride themselves in that, and I can understand Tim's connection to it and being in good faith. That's why, like, yo, bro, you make sense. You make sense.
Made a
But
whole company push their game back.
but you right. You right. And then the thing is you have the other backhand, right? You have the other backhand of that company where it will was that that actor who funded an indie game? It kind of like played like Prince of Persia.
You had mentioned it before on a previous pod, but
Yeah,
the
it's an
name
African
still escapes
game.
me. Still
It's
escapes
an
me.
African
But I know what you're talking about because you
Oh,
yeah.
mentioned it and
okay.
I looked it up. Yeah.
Yeah, so that game suffered because it was connected to a company, consulting company that people felt like are destroying games, and they suffered greatly because of it. And the game is good. For me, because the character was black, that game suffered at the burnt end of what's going on, and because this character, it's going to affect you. Feel it's just like me and you are. We all are of different ethnicity. I'm not. We all black, but our
Different
cultural
cultures.
background's
Yeah.
different. But to someone who doesn't care about a Haitian or a Jamaican or a Bahamian, we're just black men. And we suffer, you know what I'm saying? We just suffer. I mean, that's the analogy. That's how they're looking at it with that game too. I see a female character. Yeah, this is botch. I don't have.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do the due diligence because I've been
There's
betrayed
also a
before.
flip, and we spoke about this before, and that is very true. Remember, we're also saying that some games companies are also playing on that controversy Because for example, remember all the people who was talking about Assassin's Creed, do the Yasuke and all this stuff. Those same people was going to buy the game just to talk about it, because just like how YouTube works, you need that actual media. You need that actual gameplay. Like, you're not going to just pirate it from somebody. But it's a simple fact that you bought the game just to talk about it. They already won. Just like how you said about the scalpers, like
Yeah, but it's just the
Sony
intention,
don't care
dog.
how,
Yeah, that's crazy.
As long as they were
yeah,
purchased. Yeah.
it's going to be the same thing, because Ant even spoke about this, bro. Like when Rise of the Ronin came out, guess how many people bought that game just to do side by side comparisons of Ghost of Tsushima? So the same thing with this title, bro. People are going to buy this game, to play on the controversy aspects. They are going to buy that game just to do side by sides with whenever Shadows release. And
Man,
I
I just feel
mark
like
my
that's just
words,
like
that's going to happen, bro. And guess what? Those views are going to be in the millions just because of the controversy.
The comments about to be insane.
Yeah.
it's gonna be it's gonna be
It's,
it's gonna be in the it's gonna be in the millions, but it's gonna be a millions of, and I don't think that works. You know what I'm saying? It
Yeah,
works for the company. Yeah, I can buy bread, but
yeah. I think ultimately the issue that starts to, and we can move the topic forward a little bit because we got two or three more things to talk about.
okay.
But I think one of the things that it introduces maybe a slightly unnecessary problem, right? And what comes to mind is, I've been telling you guys both all year. I'm like, bro, like, y'all gotta play Prince of the Persia: The Lost Crown. You gotta play it. You gotta play it. It's so good. It's so good, right? But I remember people at the time were like, we don't want to play. Not saying y'all, but people were like, we don't want to play this. It's a Prince of Persia game with no prince. What? The main guy's black. What? It's like, I'm like, listen, for all the
is he
garbage that
black?
he is, but like for all the garbage that Ubisoft has given us, I'm like, this game,
It's the only quality.
it's quality. It's good.
But
There's
it paid
no
for it. It paid it in a way. It kind of paid for it
no.
because of the
It
aesthetics.
did.
You know
It's
what
one
I'm
of those
saying?
things where it's going to be a slow grower, right? Where it's like it's going to get nominated. People are like, man, this game actually is pretty fire. But I think that's the thing where it's like we're at this unfortunate thing where it's like that whatever you decide to include is going to get hit with the microscope now, because it immediately, to Jory's point, triggers that thought of like, oh no, another one, until you play it, right? So like to Tim's point is like, me personally, since anyone who's known me, I'm like, I don't care about playing as women. It's fine. It don't bother me. I like Lara Croft. I like Chloe on Uncharted. I'm like, I don't care.
But you know what?
Because
You know
the
what sticks
character
out?
writing was there.
It was there, and they were still women.
Mm-hmm.
They were still women. Like, if you got me like, if you get, for example, if you get me to ask when I'm watching a movie, right? For example, you try to replace Goku, right? For example, let's say somebody tries to replace Goku. I'm like, yo, Goku could do what makes him different from Goku? He's doing the same exact thing Goku's doing. Why don't I just play as Goku? You get what I'm saying? Because Vegeta is a very good contrast against Goku. They are not the same at all.
Mm-hmm.
Even with Vegeta's character progression. You know what I'm saying? They're not the same at all. But like what makes Samus unique is Samus still feels like a female character. This is her perspective's interesting. Versus it being like, why couldn't a man just be this couldn't a male character could have just did this. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah. It's like it's
That's
almost like they're focused on the wrong nuances, right? Like it's like if we ever say, for example, we got like a Lara Croft and Nathan Drake crossover game. If I see Lara Croft scaling a cliff side with the same speed as Nathan Drake, it's all a loss out the gate, because that's not what she's good at. She should be showing, hey, we're in this puzzle. I solve it faster, because we've always known Lara Croft to be genius.
And she always get impaled and randomly survive.
Yeah, right. But that's the whole thing. I'm not expecting her to be physically dominant to surpass this character. But the problem is with a lot of this modern writing sometimes is like, not only am I your equal, but I'm also better than you. Again, just because. Don't question it. Don't ask me why. I'm just better.
Yeah, we imagine we're in second season of Shippuden. Sakura comes out with the Rinnegan because she decided to go to Pain Crib and take the eyes from Pain.
And we're just like, that's just because.
After he beat Jiraiya, just because. You know what I'm saying?
I just kind of feel like, bro, yes, the patriarchy exists, and until it gets dismantled, I just kind of feel like we shouldn't give it too much power. You shouldn't give
I
you
agree.
shouldn't give it too
No,
much
I
power.
agree. I
No,
agree.
we
And
shouldn't, but you almost can't escape it. You know what I'm saying? Because the things that shouldn't give it power are giving it power.
Uh, it's tricky because like I said, bro, Hollywood is such a very complex beast that certain things work out in their favor. Like, for example, like, when there's something going on with a celebrity, whether it's good or bad, you're making that person rich by your clicks on Twitter, by how many times you
mm-hmm,
mention their name. And to be
mm-hmm.
honest, like, that's kind of like the beast of capitalism. Like, as a consumer, whether you love or hate them, if you invest any form of social media marketing, like, which is free marketing, which where a lot of us are doing now these days for them, marketing or our consumer dollar, you become part of the exact same problem. Like, you've just
Mm-hmm.
fueled the engine. Now, like, yes, I get it, bro. There's some very hardcore people out there where they're just gonna complain about everything. They really are.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, is like I said, bro, I'm only accountable for myself. I do my research, and if it aligns with me, like Ant said, pull out that card, that Digimon GIF, and just swipe it and just have a good day.
Yeah, to move it forward, last couple of topics. In terms of the pay to play, there's one thing I wanted to talk about as far as DLC, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're in this backlog year, this year of there's not a lot of like brand new IPs coming out, but there's expansion packs here, there's DLC characters there, whatever the case may be. So, Tim brought it up like, hey, they're doing like the TGS, PSN store sales and just sales in general. So I hop on the PSN store, of course. I'm like, oh, let me see, like maybe there's something I can like grab. So I started looking at like Street Fighter 6, Tekken 8, things like that. I'm just like, yo, some of these DLC prices, I don't know if I can warrant it. I don't see myself spending $30 for year one season pass for Street Fighter 6. How? So it's like, that's the question I wanted to ask you guys. Like, do you guys feel like, granted, I still think DLCs are better than microtransactions.
Yeah.
But do you guys feel like it's getting to a point now where even DLC, right? Tim brought it up earlier in the pod, Aftermath is $50 for DLC, right? Are we getting to a point where some of these games, like, I can't continue to return to it if I plan on playing other IPs?
I feel they've gotten to the point where, just like I said with Sony earlier, bro, like, it's the Apple format, bro. They are charging just so much out the gate. Like, yes, of course, these games, they're showing great graphic fidelity, but it's like not all this gameplay stuff is not really adding up.
Mm-hmm.
Not for everything, bro. And that's why, like, sometimes, bro, I tell people I'm a waiter. I wait for that complete edition, bro, because sometimes them complete editions be like $40. And I was like, so you mean to tell me the base game and this attachment is $40 now? So why were you charging that much before? I mean, I get it. It depends on how many sales rack up. But then ultimately, it goes back to, the logic of money technically doesn't really exist. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you just decided to one day. It's the same thing with Grand Theft. They sold so many copies that they said, bro, we've made so much money off this game, we just don't care no more. Here you go.
You got
It's
a Steam
like,
Deck and Epic.
but that's what I'm saying, bro. Like, as of now, like, my investment level is very, very high right now. Because it's like, bro, these prices are just getting higher and higher. I think the highest I ever paid for DLC, and I remember you was talking about me so bad with this, when I bought the Arkham Knight DLC season pass. I was like, bro.
Was it worth it, Tim?
In the long run, no. In the
Yeah,
long
because he
run,
was like, "Nah, man, they promised they're gonna do this, they're gonna do that." I said, "Okay."
no, because to be honest, the best thing was the epilogue where, but then
With
even the
Batgirl.
epilogue was kind of like, all right, it's another set of Mad Hatter missions,
Mm-hmm.
Ra's al Ghul's side quests, a Killer Croc quest, and then but we finally got closure about Mr. Freeze and his wife. The end.
Ooh.
And I was like, was this really worth $50? I mean, yeah, of course it had challenge maps, it had like 2 to 3 other short stories from the rest of the sidekicks. I was like, for $50 for what you got, it's No, I still said like, nah, this shouldn't have been no $50, bro. And it's like ever since then, I don't think I've ever bought something that been expensive. Because even for like, I tell you all the time, bro, I jumped on Tekken season 3. Like, and I remember I told you, I was like, hey, bro, them season passes they for sale right now. Get them.
Yeah.
And we bought it at the same time because I was like, bro, you mean to tell me this thing was like $100, bro? $100? Even on Red Dead Ultimate Edition, bro, I waited. That was on one day. I woke up. It was like a 75% sale for 20, like for $20. Like swipe, swipe. It's like, bro, you mean to tell me like these? And it's just like they just be throwing out these Ultimate Editions like it's nothing, bro. And they're all the same price, like 105 discs. And then here comes the year 2 passes, like, cause you know that's the thing now. You can't just drop it after the first season. But then you look at this Golden Child, you know, Shredder's Revenge, Ultimate Edition, you know, the base game and 2 DLC packs, $39.99
Beautiful, bro.
for the
Beautiful.
PS4 and PS5 version. One sale.
Beautiful. So that's why I asked that question, because I'm like, it's, you know, games are more expensive, right?
Yeah.
We're making more of an investment up out the gate. But it's also one of those things where, like, because so many companies are tapped into like this live service model, it's understandable, right? Like, you want to give people reasons to return to your game. But I'm like, but if you're charging me $30-$40 for a fighter, I'm gonna play a couple matches, mostly offline, and then cut off my system. That's not, to me, feels like $40 well spent in my mind. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like, at what point does this cumulative investment make sense? You know, like you look at even Sparking Zero. Sparking Zero got a collector's audition for like $110, bro. I'm like, and this is, you know what I'm saying? They're gonna make a season pass too, and I'm gonna have to spend even more money
For 7 palette characters.
It's starting to feel a little bit unobtainable. Like you said, Tim, is like, I gotta tap in year 3 because I cannot rationally in my brain be like, I'm going to spend 30, 40, 50 for this season pass that may or may not pay out. I say it all the time. Street Fighter 4 or 5, you buy the Ultimate Edition only for them to release more DLC.
Bro, even with us, remember we bought Soul Calibur, like we waited almost 2 years for them season passes to go on sale.
Yeah. And I still got one more season pass I need to buy. And that was with the deep discounts. I think the first 2 seasons, and I think there's that last one with the guy from Samurai Showdown. I'm like, I don't have him because you released another DLC. That's right. What you think?
I'm not as apprehensive
Okay.
for the season passes, the yearly season passes, because, you know, like, if, you know, I think me seeing how much they cost individually, I kind of like, it kind of makes sense. $7 for one character. And if you do the math, this is how much it's going to cost for all of them.
Mm-hmm.
Not as mad. I would probably buy one character since they're selling, but I have the option of buying one character. If I'm never going to play this character, even though they locked in my slot, it's okay. I don't really have a problem. I'm used to it. With Killer Instinct having that model, Killer Instinct gave you the option to buy the character. If you are not going to play as Shadow Jago, you don't ever need to consider it. But if you do want to buy Shadow Jago, or you want to buy him with the entire roster, you can. You can buy him later. I think that's a fair thing because you don't have to buy these DLC characters now, right? You have enough characters already in Tekken to play. And I didn't buy every character. I bought Leroy Smith when I say, oh, I like him. I'm going to pay for him full price.
Mm-hmm.
I think with fighting games, as long as they give you the option to buy I don't have to buy the Kit Kat bar together. I can buy one Kit Kat bar. I'll be okay. Doesn't really bother me. And if it's, and at the other hand of on the other aspect, I want the game to live because I like it.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of do a little bit. I usually buy the game if, for example, there's a Sony game it's 3 people that made the game. Bro, I'm gonna buy the DLC. It's out of charity
Mm-hmm.
for me at this point now, because I understand that the corporate beast, and I can understand that there's other companies trying to claw in and intervene on what they're trying to do. So I throw them a bone because I don't want them to lose their sovereignty
Mm-hmm.
per se. So something like the S game that's coming out, like Wukong. I bought Wukong because, bro, I said, dog, listen, these guys tried.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna wait for it to be on sale, and it was $50. So to me, $50 threshold is it's still. I'm like, yo, that's just 225. So I won't order Uber Eats for probably 2 weeks, and I'll just make my own food and I'll be fine. That's just
Mm-hmm.
like that's I could literally make that within 2 weeks. I'll put that to the side. So for a fighting game, I'm not really not gonna it's not gonna really bother me because they gave me quality, right? You know what I'm saying? I feel like with the Street Fighter, I'm not gonna buy the characters now, but if I like Bison, so I'm gonna buy Bison by himself. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I don't need the season pass. So it doesn't bother me as much, but I understand someone who doesn't want to pay full price. But I also am appreciative that I can buy the individual character and I don't have to buy a package with a bundle.
But even with that, though, you don't feel like you're being overcharged, right? Because the what happens is like they're going to purposely tick up the price of the individual character to incentivize the season pass,
Yeah.
right? So it's like, yeah, you're paying $8. Yeah, it's $8 for the one character, but if you think about it, it probably should be $5.
Yeah.
But they're charging you $8 because they want you to pay $30. Like, oh, why would I pay $8 when I could pay $30 and get 3 more characters?
I don't know. For me, because it's like I'm gonna buy this on sale. So I'm not gonna pay what you want me to pay anyway, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you're gonna make it go on sale. I'll get the character that I really want, and that could be 2 years from now. I get you a DLC. Most likely, that's what it will be for me. So it's $8 for the entire cycle of the game. I still don't have Lei Long in Tekken 7 because I don't want him.
But then I feel like that also speaks to like the attention span of just someone as a gamer, right? Of like,
Mm-hmm.
I wait for sales like anybody else, right? We all wait for sales. I don't know if I have Tim's level of patience. You know what I'm saying? Like, and the only reason why I said it is because by the time it gets to the point where it makes sense, I'm probably not even going to play it. I'm going to buy it because I couldn't resist, and it's going to sit right there. Because it's been 2 years now, and the sequel's on the way, or whatever the case may be. Where like it's hard for me to retain that interest that long.
With like I got Street Fighter Championship Edition.
I did
like
too.
that was literally, and I was okay with that because like this wasn't the best Street Fighter for one, and two, I felt I was getting my money's worth.
Yeah.
It had all the DLC characters. I thought I was getting my money's worth. So I
DLC
said,
characters, stages, costumes. It had everything.
Hmm?
and then to be honest with you, man, like with the fighting game like Tekken 8, I don't have to move on to Tekken 9 when it dropped, to be honest with you. Because
You don't, but I think that I think it's just
yeah,
like, but I think to counteract your guys' point about Street Fighter V, it's a lot easier because that game didn't justify the cost, right? You're like, what I'm seeing, I'm not crazy about it. Not to the point that I feel like I got to do it right now. Versus like, I look at Street Fighter 6, I'm like, bro, I want to play as Terry. I'm not gonna hold you. I really want to play as Terry.
and I think that
But I
merits
also
it,
want to play
man.
as
And
Bison.
then we didn't even see Mai yet. You know what I'm saying?
You're right. So I'm like,
so is it 5 characters that we're getting for
four.
It's 4?
Mm.
If it was 5 and we were paying 30, I'd be, and then to be honest with you, dudes, I buy my games on Eniba, fighting games like that.
Mm.
I buy them in different regions. So if I have my own methods, like I cop Street Fighter. I didn't pay no $60 for Street Fighter. I paid 25 because I bought it from another country. You know what I'm saying? And no, that's an extreme, but bro, I bought that thing for 25 from a
Street Fighter's
war
written
torn
in German
country.
on the cover.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? That's messed up, but I was a German for that day, dog. I was the German for that day, man. Like, um, I understand, man. I do get it, man. And you're making me think. But for me, it's more like I want it. I guess it's not helping them not charging me as much because there was if it's like if it's an indie game, if it's indie companies, to be honest with you, I buy it to help them out, man. I know what it takes to make this, and
No,
I
for
could tell
sure.
like Ninja Turtles. I wouldn't think I wouldn't bat an eye because that game was fire. You're doing something. You're answering. You're really making this game for me, and that's when I feel like okay, now you've gotten my money. You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying? So it depends on the quality of effort for me. If I feel like they put enough effort in it for me to, and it for me to pay that much, and that's where I stand almost because now when I buy a game, if they please me, I'm gonna get I'm gonna get the DLC for I'm already looking to buy the Tekken DLC whenever I get paid.
Mm.
I
Um,
also feel like.
and I
Go ahead,
and
sorry.
I and I also like it for me because it's such a community. I like to be there. Fighting games aren't fun when people are moving on anymore.
That's
You
my
know, so
point.
it's like, yeah,
That's something like it's a fine line of like I don't want to be in a relevant state where everyone has moved on. Nobody cares anymore. Even my
but this
interest
game is
has
gonna
dipped a
be
little
here
bit.
for a long time though. That's another thing too. The longevity of fighting games, I think, they live longer, so it's like you actually won't pay as much as you think you will. You know, because I don't want to make Tekken 8 and then I gotta spend another $1 million 2 years from now. Especially with that, we don't have enough bandwidth speed to process certain things. Like 4K is still an issue. 4K 60 frames is still an issue for our top PCs in 2024. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
We just now got an iPad with an iPhone with a USB-C. This iPhone, I got it because I don't want that finicky lightning port anymore. Yo, I said, yo, I told myself, as soon as they make a USB-C, as soon as they make a USB-C, I'm out of here. I got rid of that phone. Now I have a phone to where I feel like 8 gigs of RAM on my phone. My computer can, oh my, yo, it's over. So I think the longevity of fighting games now, like we discussed earlier pods, they could warrant the price. And especially if Tekken was trash, forget it, nothing would matter. But I like Eddie, like Lydia, love Heihachi. We're getting the story for free. We know,
Yeah, one of the
and
stories for
because
free.
what do you mean when the story's for free?
Ain't all gonna be free.
Wait. They're gonna do another story? Hold up, chill, guys. Hold up, hold up.
We don't want to get off topic. Tim, you were gonna say something?
Yeah, I also feel like, bro, it's kind of like how it goes back to the
Hey, you
capitalist
you just
world.
killed me, dog.
It goes back to the capitalist world, bro, of flagships. Like anything that has like a flagship name, they are going to overcharge you, bro. They are. Because
Mm.
then you got some of the gems like how, or even I would say even flagships who they're trying to get back into the fold. Like look what SNK is doing with City of the Wolves. When you pre-order, you get the season pass with it.
Okay.
Like
That's a great bit.
That's a
That's a
great
business
business
package
plan.
that'll put
and
a
look at
put
and
a.
look at the price. It's within the same thing that you would buy on a full price game. Like when I was looking at Under Night. Under Night, it had the standard edition, which was $49.99. Oh, $59.99. Oh, that comes with the season pass for $59.99. You made the decision for me.
Mm-hmm.
Now, yes, and then there are certain games they promoting the season pass before the game even finish. That's a red flag.
Yeah,
That's a
yeah,
red flag,
no,
bro.
no.
It's like
They
how
dropped the launch trailer, the season pass trailer right afterwards.
it's,
How, fam?
and then the biggest red flag was Mortal Kombat, bro. Once they said, it's like, bro, how we got the season pass trailer before the launch trailer, and look at what we got, bro. Two out of five of those characters was only good.
That's what I'm saying. I know, again, it's a tricky thing. Like you said, I think that's a good point, Tim. Like just the flagship aspect of it. But I'm just like, at a certain point, it's like I still want to be in while it's a good talking point. But at the same time, like, oh, y'all breaking my pockets.
No, but look how fast these games are on sale now. Like you could get Street Fighter for dirt cheap if you buy it now.
You can, but base Street Fighter. That's what I'm saying. Like it's one of those things where it's like,
Yeah,
you're
and you could tell
But you don't think
but you
the
could also tell that they're
longevity?
also skimping down on those like versions where they bundle it together, especially now, where like especially after people got on, like, why y'all keep making new versions just to resell us? Like now everything is strictly DLC, so now they're starting to cut back on. Hey, no, there ain't no Champion Edition, bro. You better run. You
yeah.
better run us the money for these season passes.
And then they're not going on a sale the way that you think they would. Like, again, going to the PSN store, I'm like, I thought season 1 would have been cheaper than it was.
No,
It was
How
cheaper
much are
than
you
it.
guys? How much is it on your on the PlayStation? How much do you
I
remember it
think it's
for?
like $30 because the standard
Okay,
season pass is like what, 40?
I'm gonna go on the Microsoft
I
Store.
think it's like $40, bro. But yeah, with me, bro, when it comes to fighting games, bro, I wait for Evo sales and Tokyo Game Show sales. Because you also got to know the market, bro. Like, that if they want to drive sales, Evo is probably one of the best times.
Yeah, of course. Everyone's excited. They're hyped. They want to like
Yeah.
be a part of the conversation. Oh, that's how I started my Evo journey. I saw so and so do Justin Wong. Blah, blah, blah. Like, I get that.
Hmm.
I'm just like, bro, it's just like, it's getting to a point where I'm like, man, I just, again, I saw it and I logged right back out. Like, I was like, nope. Mm-mm.
Yeah, like I said, bro.
Let me see.
But it's getting tough, man. It really is getting tough out there, and that's why, bro. That's where I said the human logic just got to take over. Analyze your life, what you got going on. Does this
Mm-hmm.
align with that? Does this purchase align with that? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Also, another reason to go to PC, and which I've already in my heart. I've already did the funeral. I didn't invite you guys, but it happened. It happened.
I guess in closing, S Frank, tell us what's going on with Dragon's Dogma. I know you about to replace it regardless with
Y'all
Monsters Hunter's
boys,
Wild. So
y'all boys,
I don't
listen.
know why you
Y'all
keep hovering
boys,
back to a game that you don't care about, but
Yeah.
y'all
I'm here
boys
for it.
getting that dog. No, I stopped playing. Kid, once I turned on Final Fantasy, I said, "Yo, this is great." I finally beat that ghost by healing. Shut up! And then they dropped the plates.
It's a great game, bro.
Thought I was watching Digimon, kid. When War Greymon transformed into when I said, "Yo, this is." Whoever directed this could direct a good movie.
Mm-hmm.
This was great. This was phenomenal. Now, like I ain't gonna lie, that's it, man. Because I saw how it looked on the PlayStation Pro.
Bro, Tim and I
Just
said
for
this
three
last
seconds.
pod.
Just for
That
3 seconds,
upscale
dog.
rendering, bro,
I
you're gonna be
said,
looking at it like
that's 50 frames per second.
with the right
Hey,
TV.
what's that video? What's that video with that dude in the Kango hat? No, hey, listen, man.
It's just
And
that
I have a
price tag.
television that could do it.
It's just the price tag. It's so many things on it that make sense.
Hey,
2 TB
listen,
with upscaling.
it was supposed to be $500. It really was. It
Yeah, but
really
Sony said we're
was.
Apple now. What else are you gonna play?
No, Concord. Great.
No, but even with that, what else are you gonna play? What Xbox game are you playing this year? Exactly.
Yeah, and that's why the journey to PC is so much sweeter. Um, like no, but I think overall we're being pushed out of the console space because now you're like you obviously don't want us here. So
I just
we're gone, man.
I just think it's one of those things where it's I think every industry, I guess we could say this in closing, I think every industry reaches a point where just because of the human nature and our tendency to get greedy, right? We just start to
And you do this because of
cannibalize.
the pandemic
Yeah.
caused you to
Yeah.
cannibalize
We start
yourself
to
because these aren't
cannibalize. Yeah.
realistic scopes you're seeing. These are not realistic scopes you see. Like, how does a company not realize, well, the world was in peril, so that's the reason for these numbers? And to be like, oh, these are accurate. This will be here for. I'm like, no, people were trapped inside, so that's why they did it. And right after they got outside again,
They
numbers
put all
dropped
those things right back away. People who
immediately.
weren't like you, to your point, is like when I
They
still live in
sold it.
LA, one of my housemates, she's a gamer in the most casual sense. Didn't own a console before the pandemic. Pandemic happens, we're locked in the place. Lo and behold, she has a Nintendo Switch now. Right? But now the outside's back open, I ain't seen her play that Switch. Every time we catch up, I don't hear her playing any new game because that phase and moment has passed. Right? That's just what I think we're at a point where it's like we're being edged out by people who just like we have to find a way to make more, and it's like, but that it's almost like
Nintendo learned their lesson, and you can't learn that. And you're not even Nintendo. Out of all companies, paid a hefty price, thinking
yeah,
that they can Wii U it.
well, we do it, and people just buy it. It's like that's not reality. It's like you don't want you think you want it because you're seeing the numbers. You don't want a console cycle of life and death that revolves around you dropping the consoles, you drop limited numbers, the scalpers buy them all up, oversell them back, and then you wonder why no one's buying these games. Because to S. Frank's earlier point, a scalper has 6 PS6s in his back room because he couldn't sell them off after initially buying them. You know what I'm saying? It's just one of those things where I'm like, it's like you're getting to a point of like, and that's why I'm like, it's such a frustrating thing of like, I don't necessarily want the PS5 to be my last console, but I might be with Tim of like, if this is what you guys are going to do, I'm cool. I'll watch the cutscenes on YouTube and go on about my life. I don't have to participate anymore if this is what we're doing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Exactly.
Like,
that's just how I feel, bro. That's just exactly how I feel, man. It's come to a point where, like, and it goes back to like an earlier topic that we had about there's just some level of extremes that are entering these industries where it's kind of like causing another many forms of segregation, bro.
mm-hmm.
Like, yes, they want these hardcore people who want to mindlessly just buy, buy, and buy. Because, yes, there are some collectors, they're about to buy up every last single remaster just because they want it.
Mm-hmm.
Just because they want it. There are some people who are going to buy the Horizon remaster, pay that $10 just so they can get double the trophies.
Yeah. Just so that grass looks a little bit grayer on that.
Yeah, like and like I said, bro, it's just the same thing with the Pro, bro. Like people are gonna buy it just for that little extra 45%. People are just going to buy it. It's just because humanity has really entered this realm of extremes.
How much is the season pass on the PlayStation?
I mean, I'm just doing like ballpark. I think it was like I want to say it was like 30.
I think it was like 40.
That's for 2 years.
No, it was for the first one. Because remember, they're on Season Pass 2 already.
Yeah. Season Pass 1 was $30.
Okay, this is 19.
For 1?
Yeah.
I'll have to look again. Maybe they changed
Season Pass 2 is 29. For both years.
For both years.
Yeah, $29 for both.
Is it on sale?
On the Xbox, it's on sale. Season 1's on sale.
Oh, because it's Tokyo Game Show, bro.
Okay,
yeah.
Okay, so I mean, I'll check again if I can get both seasons for 30. That's not bad.
2 year, 2 years is $20, $29.
That's not bad. If that's the case, 8 characters.
That's the case. That's the case. Let me see.
I can
4 additional characters and 4 additional other characters. Yeah, for 2 years.
Okay.
Yeah. That's why I was like, this pass wasn't because that's what I remember it being. That's what wait, this
No, you sure it's like year 1 and year 2? Because year 2,
Yeah.
no, because year 2 is Bison, Mai, Terry, and Elena. Year 1 is Ed, Akuma, Aki, and that other person.
Fang.
No, Aki. Yeah, I said Aki,
No, yeah, you're right. Oh, yeah,
Akuma.
yeah, no, yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
bro. Like if it don't say year
yeah.
1
Hold
and
up.
2 for $30,
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm like year
Hmm.
1 and 2 for 30. That's not bad, but if it's just year 2, no.
yeah,
Ah,
yeah,
you're right. You're right. Yeah.
yeah, they're separated, bro.
Year one. Yeah, you're right. Mm.
No, sir, not me. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Mm. This is nasty work, man.
Yeah. Like I said, it's one of those things where, like Tim was saying, it's just we reached this point of their, you look at some of these mobile games where like they cater to the whales, right? Of like we need 10 people to spend thousands of dollars on this game to initiate people to even play the free version, and maybe they'll spend money. We're reaching that with consoles of like we just need the content creators and the 1% to buy these games at premium prices of like, don't you want to feel the texture of the PS1 30th anniversary in your hands? You're like,
I
man,
do,
I do,
but not for that.
but not for that. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, $1,000, bro. That's like,
But you do get two controllers in a pro. You get one regular and a one pro, right?
No, you
no.
get two basic controllers, the disc drive, and the stand for $1,000.
Crisis Core is on sale. Should I buy it?
The what?
Crisis Core, Final Fantasy.
No, don't buy it.
No,
No.
don't buy
I
it.
think that's a remastered.
It is a
It
remaster,
is.
and
It is.
they fixed the combat, but no,
Dang.
no. Don't let the hype of remake and rebirth, Crisis
Dang,
Core.
don't even forget about this guy, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
Dragon's Dogma.
Oh, we
Two.
still talking about that.
I thought
Yeah.
you abandoned it, bro. I was about to say, all
Nah, I
right,
mean,
y'all.
we could peace out, but like, I'll say this one last thing. Like, I have to do I'm gonna do a video doc, so get ready for that. I got a Swanton Bomb Shooting Star Press. This is not this is the most claustrophobic open world game I've ever played in my life. And I played part one. And it's just like certain things are like the fact that I don't have a horse in a medieval game,
Well, Capcom
bro.
is
Like,
using that game as their demo child for the PS4 5 Pro about, oh yeah, but the textures have been enhanced by.
bro. You
and
can't
not
even hit consistent 60 frames per second.
and
And
not
it's
for
like,
nothing. It's a blip on the radar because they got Monster Hunter Rise dropping next year. What do they care? That's the reality of it.
Monster Hunter Rise already got my money, so.
But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, yeah, we didn't, we might have missed the mark on this, but we got
And
Monster Hunter
then
Rise.
I can't light a fire because Esuno banged it. So I can't. There's it'll be moot.
Yeah, the guy who made the game left.
He
So
banged it. So it's
yeah,
like I can't even let
which
it
should
give
tell
me
you
peace of my mind.
everything right there.
Oh man, I want to
That
do
should
new
tell you
things.
everything, right? A game that he just released. He's like, all right, y'all, I'm leaving Capcom.
And he left us with two mishaps because Devil May Cry 5. Boy, that's another game where it's
Yeah,
like,
but
okay, you lied to us.
that should tell you everything. Set it out to
Yeah.
sale.
He,
Salute it. It's done, bro.
bruh, man, from the fifth floor.
They got you. It
He got
happens
it
to all of
sandwiched
us.
up. Boy,
Every
he
now and then
banged
we
it.
get you get a game. You're like, man, they got me. This didn't.
I got Carmen San Diego, dog. Carmen San Diego, kid. I'm hot, bro. I hated that lady, man. So
It happens, bro. It happens to all of us. Every now and then you get a game, you're just like, they got me, yo. This wasn't, Like I said, for me, it's 16. When I bought 16, I was like, they got me. Broke my whole PS5 and they got me.
dog, I paid full price for that thing, man. Wow, I remember, dog, when I bought it, I said, man, could have played that.
Burned out my whole disk drive and it wasn't
Dog, I
good,
said,
bro.
man, I played the demo. I said, man, His boy.
Yep, copped.
And then I played it. Yes. Okay, where's everything else?
Yeah.
Where's the rest of the combos?
Where's the rest of the party?
What do you think this was? Kingdom Hearts?
Right.
I mean, I heard the anime on Netflix is good. Capcom, bro. That's what I said, bro.
Man.
That's why I keep telling people, bro. Capcom, I tread lightly, bro. I tread lightly.
That's true.
Yeah.
Like no matter
That's
what
true.
good stuff they do in the streets, I mean they're doing good with the Capcom versus SNK build up, but Mega Man Legends 3 is still gonna be in my heart, bro.
That's funny.
Unless they do right by me with that.
That's
tread
funny.
lightly.
I mean, I got my Marvel vs. Capcom collection. They've given me my peace offering already. I'm good. And I'm getting Power Stone next year. I'm chilling. I've got what I need. But yeah, we'll wrap up this pod. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys so much for tuning into another episode of the Press Start Select podcast. I am your host, Antonius DaGamer, with SSS Rank and Mykale Smith. Thank you guys as always for liking, subscribing, commenting, and we'll see you next time. Later.